Chapter 2689, Volume 1, Chapter 134-5, or 6 days later. Right now, the Bloodlong Gate was very lively. There were countless people standing on the trial platform. Every single one of them was very excited. In the past, the people of the Bloodlong Gate did not have this kind of anticipation and happiness. This was because they were different from before. They wanted to show off their strength to everyone and let them experience their strength. There were already many people sitting on the stage. Other than the 8 sect masters and elders, there were also many people from other factions. There were both men and women. If they didn't have high statuses, then they were extremely powerful. Each of them held great authority, and they were honored guests. These people had been specially invited by the sect master to witness the birth of the Bloodlong Gate's sect master. Not only could this increase the Bloodlong Gate's prestige, but it could also intimidate the surrounding factions. When the other factions heard about this, they also placed great importance on this matter. They had come for Zhao Fu, and they didn't care about anyone else. Compared to Zhao Fu, they were nothing. There were 8 people standing in front of everyone. They were the strongest and most talented people of each sect. Zhao Fu recognized all of them: Shi Qianhe, Shui Yao, Shui Fulong, Shui Baiki, Shui Qisha, Shui Sandu, and Shui Yumei. There was only one person that Zhao Fu didn't recognize. He was an elegant youth wearing white clothes. He was called Xie Gu, and he was the most outstanding person in the Bloodlong Gate. He was the next generation successor, and he had the power to make even gods and ghosts invade him. He had been in seclusion the entire time and had only returned now, so Zhao Fu hadn't seen him before. Originally, he had some hopes of becoming the sect master, and Shui Qianhue had great expectations for him. But after Zhao Fu had appeared, Shui Qianhue had completely given up on Xie Gu. He knew that Zhao Fu was far stronger than Xie Gu, and even he felt inferior. This made Xie Gu feel quite dissatisfied. He didn't believe that he was weaker than Zhao Fu, and he wanted to see Zhao Fu's power. On the stage, a lazy middle-aged man was leaning against a chair. He looked at the 8 people from Xie Gu and said, "Where is the future sect master you've been talking about? Why haven't they come out yet?" His name was Shu Gu, and he was no weaker than Shui Qianyu. The person sitting beside him was Shui Qianyu. Shui Qianyu said with a smile, "No hurry, it's not time yet." Another woman with long green hair and green eyes, named Tree Shade, chuckled. "We'll push everything else aside. Don't let us down." Shui Qianyu said confidently, "Don't worry, he will definitely not let you down." Time passed slowly. Suddenly, someone shouted excitedly, "He's here!" Countless people from the Blood Dragon sect looked toward the back and saw Zhao Fu leisurely walking toward them from the back. The rest of the people revealed expressions of excitement. Some of them shouted loudly. Some of them were trembling. The scene became even more lively. Lonely Tree, Tree Shade, and many other powerhouses also set their eyes on Zhao Fu. A seductive woman covered her mouth and exclaimed, "What a beautiful person! How can there be such a perfect face in this world?" A handsome youth also opened his mouth and said, "This is the first time I've seen such a perfect face. Even if I die, as a man, I'd still like such a beautiful face." A young girl enviously said, "If only I had such a perfect face. How good would that be?" Tree Shade was slightly shocked as he said, "I have nothing to say about this face. I don't believe that someone with such a face would be an ordinary person." Zhao Fu walked forward, and countless people from the Blood Dragon sect made a path for him. Seeing Zhao Fu with their own eyes, everyone's reaction became even more enthusiastic, and the scene became even more noisy. Zhao Fu walked to the front, and the Blood Dragon sect's people also looked at Zhao Fu. The Blood Dragon sect's people looked at Zhao Fu. They understood that Zhao Fu was an omnipotent genius. Shui Yuru rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu and said, "Why are you so slow?" Zhao Fu lightly smiled. "It's nothing." On the viewing platform, the blood-venomous woman, Blood Savage Ling, and Shui Bai Mei had red faces as they walked over with smiles on their faces. Seeing Zhao Fu arrive, Shui Qianhue stood up with a smile and said, "The trial will now begin." Everyone's spirits shook, and they excitedly prepared for the trial. Zhao Fu and the Blood Dragon sex people's expressions were relaxed, without the slightest pressure. Boom! A huge explosion rang out as countless heavens and earth gathered in the sky. Countless blood-colored lights shot out, accompanied by a powerful pressure that landed on everyone's bodies. This was just a foundational trial and not a true trial. It was mainly to eliminate the majority of people who didn't have the qualifications to participate. That enormous pressure was like a boulder crushing down on everyone's bodies. This was just a foundational trial, so Zhao Fu and the others naturally weren't affected at all. However, everyone else felt a wave of pressure. The Blood Dragon sex people, who were originally the weakest, were the first to attack. One by one, they roared and a wave of blood force erupted from their bodies. Waves of blood, qi, emerged from their bodies to resist this immense pressure. The people of the Blood Tool sex stretched out their hands, and a wave of blood energy surged out, forming a blood-red shield in front of them, blocking the pressure. The Blood Beast sex people also roared and their muscles bulged. A blood-colored light covered their bodies, and they obtained a powerful energy that allowed them to easily block the pressure. The people of the Blood Demon sect chuckled as countless blood-colored mists surged out of their bodies and coiled around them, giving them a powerful defense that blocked the immense pressure. The other sects also used different kinds of energy to block the pressure. Not a single person failed in the foundational trial. It wasn't just Shui, Qianyue, and the other sect masters who were stunned. The other factions were also shocked. This was something that had never happened before. It was something that had never happened since the Blood Beast sect had been established. Many people from the other factions were thinking, what happened to the Blood Beast sect? How did they suddenly become so powerful in such a short time? Not a single person failed. This is too terrifying. If these people grow up, the Blood Beast sect's strength will reach new heights. Although Shui Qianyue and the others knew that their sect's strength had increased by a lot, they didn't expect it to be this much. Their gazes couldn't help but focus on Zhao Fu. This was all because of Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu was really the Blood Beast sect's lucky star. The blood-colored light in the sky slowly disappeared, and the disciples looked at each other with smiles on their faces. They were very happy to be able to pass this foundational trial. As long as they passed this trial, they would receive a lot of rewards. Chapter 2690. Book 1, Chapter 135. Blood Demon. Their gazes were also focused on Zhao Fu because they knew that it was because of Zhao Fu. Some people even thanked Zhao Fu and excitedly called out Zhao Fu's name, making it seem as if everyone was welcoming him, causing the scene to become incredibly lively. Shui Chisha, Shui Sandu, and the others silently stood at the front, not saying anything. Shui Mimi and Shui Yurwa smiled as they looked at Zhao Fu. Blood Clear Valley stood at the front and was shocked by Zhao Fu's influence. He was even more popular than ordinary sect masters. This person really did have some ability. Shu Gu, who had been lazy before, seriously asked, "Before I came, I heard that this person helped your Bloodlong Gate resolve all sorts of problems. Is it because of him that the Bloodlong Gate's strength has increased so much?" Shui Qianyu smiled and nodded. The sexy woman was called White Yu, and she said in shock, "Then who is this person? How does he have such powerful abilities?" Shui Qianyu had a trace of arrogance as he said, "We don't know who he is, but he's definitely not someone we can offend." The handsome man was called Shan Xiao. He thought about it and said in shock, "He's the primal chaos child?" Blood Shura could not help but laugh. "He's not the primal chaos child. We can guarantee this, but we feel that he's not any weaker than the primal chaos child." Blood Azura was wrong about this. Zhao Fu was also the son of chaos in other people's mouths. Hearing this, everyone's shock did not decrease. Shu Gu's tone became a bit weaker as he said, "Can you reveal some information about him?" Shui Qianyu said, "I'm sorry. Information about him is too important, so we can't reveal any information about him." Hearing this, Shu Gu looked disappointed. The young woman was called Shi Qingqing, and she said curiously, "Not only is this person so handsome, but he also has such a shocking identity. I really want to know who he is. Boom! At that moment, another explosion sounded out as heaven and earth energy once again gathered. The sky became blood red. The trial was about to begin. At the location of the blood group sect, there was a blood red gate with many people carved on it, and it gave off a powerful aura. At the center of the trial, countless traces of blood red energy condensed in the sky, forming an enormous blood red door. It stood in the sky, giving off boundless blood red light and a shocking might. The first trial was also called the Trial of the Blood Crowd sect. This was the first official trial, and it was different from the foundational trial. It was even more terrifying, and everyone became nervous and serious, not daring to be careless. The blood red door slowly opened, and countless traces of blood red aura flooded out, giving off terrifying auras as they ferociously rushed towards the people on the platform. Zhao Fu's expression was quite relaxed, and his body gave off a wave of energy that formed a protective barrier. The blood red aura river spread out on the ground, and countless traces of blood red aura containing immense power shot towards countless people. Zhao Fu had the protection of his energy barrier, and the blood red aura dissipated upon hitting the barrier, not taking any damage. The people at the front all used energy barriers to block the blood red aura. However, the others did not have it so easy. Even though they also unleashed energy barriers that gave off intense blood red light, they were unable to block the blood red aura. The traces of blood red aura blasted their bodies away, causing them to fall to the ground. If they did not want to continue, they could only crawl on the ground. If they wanted to continue, they just had to stand up, and the blood red aura would once again attack. The blood red aura continuously flowed out of the blood red door, giving off rumbling sounds. It did not show any signs of weakening, and it instead became more and more numerous, causing countless people to feel more and more pressure. Gradually, more and more people were lying on the ground. The people from the other factions all let out sighs of relief. If not a single person from the Blood Crowd sect had failed under such a powerful attack, then the Blood Crowd sect would be too terrifying. As time slowly flowed by, the blood-colored aura that gushed out finally weakened and stopped gushing out in the end. There were only 70% of the people standing on the platform, which meant that 30% of the people had been eliminated. However, even though so many people had been eliminated, it was still better than before. Before, 70% of the people might not have been able to withstand it. Among the people who had survived, there were relatively more people from the Blood Crowd sect, because they cultivated the Blood Crowd sect's cultivation method, which gave them a slight advantage. Swish, 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 countless blood-red beams shot out from the blood-red door, streaking through the air and shooting people's bodies. Everyone felt a wave of blood-red power enter their bodies. This blood-red power seemed to be a weakened legacy power that could increase people's bodies' power. There were no restrictions on cultivation methods, and it was not only the Blood Crowd sect's people, but the Blood Tool sect and Blood Bee sect's people's power also increased. After shooting out countless blood-red beams, the blood-red door slowly disappeared, and the surrounding heaven and earth force once again gathered. The second trial was about to begin. Everyone readied themselves for the trial of the second gate. The Blood Crowd sect's blood-red door, which had countless enchanting women carved on it, gave off a massive aura. In the middle of the trial, countless traces of blood-red power condensed in the sky and slowly formed a massive blood-red door. It stood in the sky and gave off boundless blood-red light, and a shocking might spread out. The second trial was the Blood Ghost sect's trial. The blood-red door slowly opened, and countless women's alluring laughter sounded out. Following this, countless images of enchanting women rushed out from the blood-red door and flew towards the people on the ground. Zhao Fu stood there and did not use a defensive barrier, as it was useless now. This was an illusion trial. Zhao Fu stood where he was and was not affected at all. The images surrounded Zhao Fu's body, not daring to come close. The ordinary people did not have Zhao Fu's power, and the enchanting women came close to them and began to dance. The people in the trial all stood where they were, smiling foolishly or mischievously. As they shouted, they waved their hands and feet, falling into different illusions. In order to pass this trial, one's mental energy and willpower had to be strong. If one failed, they would just stand there as if they had gone mad, and someone would drag them down. If one defeated the illusions, the dancing women's images would disappear. This was the second trial, and it was an illusion trial. So many people were unable to pass it. However, there were even more images of women flying out from the blood-red door towards the people on the ground. Some people had 2 or 3 women dancing seductively beside them, causing the illusion's power to increase by many times, causing many people to fall into illusions. Chapter 2691. Book 1. Chapter 136, translated by Hypersheep 325, edited by Mike. Here, with so many female images dancing, the bewitchment that they gave off was dozens of times greater than that of others. However, Zhao Fu was not affected at all, and stood there with a relaxed expression. After a while, more and more images gathered around Zhao Fu, and there were now 1,000 or so of them. The bewitchment that they gave off was undoubtedly the most powerful one, and everyone else retreated because they were also affected. Zhao Fu looked at the dancing images and gave off a formless aura, as he said calmly, "Stand down." Sensing the terrifying aura that Zhao Fu gave off, the countless images retreated in fear before disappearing. Everyone stared at Zhao Fu and could not help but cry out. The difference between Zhao Fu and the others was immediately apparent, and everyone else was still resisting the bewitchment. A while later, the images disappeared, and some people dragged those who were still in the illusion out of the arena, reducing the number of people by half. The blood-red door in the sky shot out countless traces of blood-red light that entered everyone's bodies and strengthened them. Boom! The blood-red door that was carved with countless tools gave off a massive aura as a massive blood-red door appeared in the sky. It gave off countless traces of blood-red light. The blood-red door slowly opened, and this time, countless blood-red weapons shot out with immense power towards the people on the ground. Because most of the people had been eliminated, the arena became quite spacious, and everyone took out different weapons to defend. Clang, 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 clang. The sounds of metal clashing continuously sounded out. Because this was the third attack, the blood-red weapons were quite powerful, and the others had to use all of their strength to defend. Some people shattered the blood-red weapons, while others were sent flying by the blood-red weapons. Most of the blood-red weapons shot toward Zhao Fu, at least a few thousand of them, and they all shot toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu was quite relaxed, and a blood-red domain spread out, covering the surrounding 10 meters. The countless blood-red weapons shot into the blood-red domain, turning into countless traces of blood-red aura and dissipating. Shu Gu could not help but say, "This person is quite powerful." Xue Qianhua smiled. Tree Shade said with a chuckle, "When the trial is over, I want to invite him to our greenwood forest. You won't mind, right? I don't think you want him to sit, do you?" Of course, the Tree Shade didn't simply let Zhao Fu go. She wanted to let Zhao Fu take a look and let the forest get some benefits. By the way, she could get some information about his identity. If she could keep him in the forest, that would be the best. Tree Shade chuckled and replied, "Don't get me wrong, I don't have any purpose." Shu Gu also spoke up. "If possible, I would like to invite him to our faction to take a look." The others also chimed in. All of them wanted Zhao Fu to join their forces. Xue Qianyu said, "This is not up to us. If you have the ability to invite him, then go ahead." Hearing this, everyone gave a trace of a smile and looked at Zhao Fu. Xiao, xiao, xiao. Countless blood-red weapons shot out from the sky, causing a blood-red rain to fall. Everyone waved their weapons, exuding a powerful aura. They desperately resisted the blood weapons. However, Zhao Fu still looked very relaxed. The countless blood weapons that shot into the blood-red domain directly collapsed. They turned into countless blood mist and dissipated. In the end, the blood gate stopped shooting blood weapons. Countless injured people were lying on the field. These people were all eliminated. This trial was more beneficial to the blood weapon sex people. They could use their own blood weapons to collide with the blood weapons, thus blocking the blood weapons. The fourth trial was the blood poison sex trial. The blood gate, standing in the sky, slowly opened. Countless blood-red mist gushed out and rushed towards the people on the ground. This blood mist was blood poison, and it was very toxic. If an ordinary person breathed it in, the blood in their body would become corrosive. It would constantly corrode the body, which was extremely painful. The blood poison sex people also emitted blood-red mist. This blood-red mist wrapped around their bodies, protecting them from the blood mist. The other sex used various methods to resist it. At that moment, Zhao Fu did not do anything and allowed the blood-red mist to enter his body. When the people outside saw the blood poison flood into Zhao Fu's body, their expressions changed. They all understood how dangerous the blood poison was. Sure, Qingqing could not help but cry out, "He won't be in danger, right?" The blood venom woman smiled as she said, "This kind of poison can't do anything to him. Don't worry." The handsome youth, Mountain E, looked at the blood venom woman's beautiful face and smiled as he said, "I wanted to ask before, how did you become so beautiful?" The blood venom woman said happily, "He helped me suck out the blood poison in my body, so I'm not affected by it. Do you think I was born this ugly?" Mountain E chuckled as he said, "I don't mean that. I just feel that this person is really omnipotent." The blood venom woman smiled as she said, "When you know about him, you won't be so shocked." Hearing this, everyone looked at Zhao Fu with interest. The blood-red mist covered the field and became denser and denser. The ground started to sizzle as it was being corroded by a formless blood power. Arg! Some people could not take it anymore and cried out as they hurriedly ran out of the blood-red mist. If they retreated and stayed within the blood-red mist, their lives would be in danger. This was the fourth trial, and the difficulty had increased by many times. Now, only 1,000 or so people had managed to pass. The blood-red mist started to dissipate, signifying that they had passed this trial. Swish, 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 countless traces of blood-red light shot into everyone's bodies, and a wave of blood energy spread out within their bodies, strengthening their resistance to poison. In the future, they would also be immune to some poisons. Boom! An explosion once again sounded out as the blood-red gate with countless beasts carved on it gave off a massive aura, and another blood-red gate once again appeared in the sky. This was the fifth trial, the blood beast gate. Roar! 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 The blood-red gate slowly opened, and the roars of countless beasts sounded out. Countless beasts gave off ferocious auras as they flooded out, causing everyone to feel terror. Everyone immediately prepared their weapons to defend. The countless beasts were 10 or so meters long and had savage gazes as they ferociously charged at the people on the ground. Looking at the charging beasts, everyone felt an immense pressure. However, something shocking happened. Because Zhao Fu was standing at the front, the countless beasts charged at Zhao Fu. Chapter 2692. Book 1. Chapter 137. Blood Demon. The countless beasts rushing towards Zhao Fu sensed Zhao Fu's aura, and they all revealed expressions of fear. They no longer looked as ferocious as before, and they immediately knelt on the ground with their heads lowered, as if they were worshipping their king. This scene caused everyone to look dumbfounded. Why were so many beasts worshipping him? It wasn't just the other factions that were shocked. The blood beast sex people were also shocked, not understanding what was going on. Zhao Fu himself was also quite surprised, but he could sense that it was the 100-beast blood star's influence, making it so that the blood beasts did not dare to harm him. What should they do now? Countless blood beasts were kneeling in front of Zhao Fu, and if they did not attack anyone else, how could they continue? Shui Qianyu looked at the blood beast sex sect leader, and the blood beast sex sect leader looked quite helpless. This was the first time that she had encountered such a situation, and she was unable to control the blood beast sect. At this moment, Zhao Fu said, "Go back." The countless blood fiends on the ground immediately retreated and surged back into the blood door like a tide. There was no hesitation, and their movements were extremely fast. Everyone looked quite dumbfounded. This was the 5th Blood Beast sex trial, and they had passed it just like that? This was definitely the first time in history. Swish, swish, swish. The blood gate shot out countless blood-red lights that quickly entered Zhao Fu and the others' bodies, and a wave of blood energy spread out, increasing everyone's strength. Some people did not believe that they had passed this trial so easily, but now that the rewards had been given to everyone, they were 100% sure that the 5th trial had been passed so easily. Everyone looked quite happy and excited. They had never thought that they would be able to pass the 5th trial without doing anything, and they had thought that they would not be able to pass it. Those who had been defeated in the 4th trial looked quite envious. If they had persevered for a bit longer, they would have been able to pass the 5th trial without wasting any energy, and they would have been able to enter the 6th trial while lying down. The Blood Beast sex people looked at Zhao Fu in shock. They had never thought that Zhao Fu would have such abilities. At first, the Blood Serum sex people were not very convinced of Zhao Fu's abilities, but after seeing this scene, they understood that they were inferior to him. He did not have such abilities. At the location of the Blood Martial Gate, which had various carvings of people practicing martial arts, gave off a powerful aura. A blood door appeared in the sky. The blood door slowly opened, and countless figures rushed towards the crowd. The 6th trial of the Blood Martial Gate was several times more difficult. Everyone started fighting with that figure. These figures were very strong. Many people couldn't even take a single blow before being sent flying. These people had probably been lucky enough to pass the 5th trial, but now they had no ability to resist the 6th trial. Xuemei, Xue Baiqi, and the others did not have it easy either. They fought seriously with those figures. Xue Sandu's body continuously gave off a blood-red mist, forming a massive tentacle that vigorously whipped at a figure. The intense poison continuously corroded the figure. Xue Yuruo fought with that figure. You punched, I punched, and I punched. Xue Mimi's body gave off a formless energy, causing the image to become distracted. Xue Mimi's sword quickly stabbed towards the image, piercing through its body. The image gradually disappeared, but another image quickly found Xue Mimi. Xue Qisha's power was comparatively greater. He sent one of the figures flying with a single punch, and the other figures pounced at him. Xue Qisha blocked them while counterattacking. He wasn't at a disadvantage. The one who had it the easiest was still Zhao Fu, but the figures surrounding him were the most numerous. Illusory figures surrounded Zhao Fu, and Zhao Fu stood where he was and raised his finger, which gave off a blood-red sword light, making it look like a sword of light. One figure couldn't wait any longer and charged at Zhao Fu. Its hand turned into a claw, and it grabbed at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu's sword fingers easily cut that figure in two, and it dissipated. Another figure grasped this opportunity to attack from behind Zhao Fu. Its fist brought with it a powerful fist wind as it smashed at Zhao Fu's back. Zhao Fu swung his sword, slashing at that figure's head. The figures understood that they weren't a match for Zhao Fu, so they all charged at Zhao Fu. They attacked Zhao Fu from all directions. Their fists brought with them wind, their palms brought with them powerful palm energy, their claws brought with them cold light, and their fingers brought with them sharp attacks at different places on Zhao Fu. Boom! Zhao Fu placed his sword fingers in front of his chest, and a powerful energy spread out like a barrier. Countless figures charged at him were sent flying. Not a single one of them had the ability to resist. Those figures that were sent flying also slowly faded. After dealing with so many figures, not a single one of them dared to approach Zhao Fu. They turned to attack the others. A blood-red ring appeared above Xue Qinggu's head. A powerful energy rapidly spread out, sending several figures flying. There were no longer any figures looking for him. This meant that he had passed this trial, and his strength was indeed the strongest among the 8. Bang! Blood 7 kills raised his fist, and a blood-red light covered his fist as he rushed towards the images. He sent them flying with a single punch, and he had passed this trial. As a member of the Blood Martial Gate, Xue Yuruo had a bit of an advantage on this level. Based on the attributes of these illusory figures, he was able to take advantage of this opportunity to send them flying. He smoothly passed this trial. However, the others didn't have that kind of power, and they were all sent flying. In the end, there were only 30-some people left. The number of people who had died was frightening. The Blood Marshal Gate shot out countless rays of blood-colored light that entered everyone's bodies. Everyone once more felt their power increase. Next, there was some rest time for everyone to recover from their injuries and physical strength. The next two most dangerous trials were the blood-killing sect trial and the blood immortal sect trial. Zhao Fu looked at Shui Yume, who was struggling a bit. This kind of head-on battle was disadvantageous to her. She was more suited to not fighting head-on. Her strongest point was her bewitching arts. Zhao Fu smiled. "Senior apprentice sister, do you want me to help you?" Shui Yume felt a warm feeling in her heart. She hadn't expected Zhao Fu to care about her at this time. She happily smiled. "No need. I want to rely on my own strength to pass as many trials as I can." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Shui Yuruo said with some jealousy, "Why didn't you ask me?" Zhao Fu laughed. "As the Blood Marshal Gate's heir, you'll find it laughable if you lose here." Shui Yuruo snorted. The people on the viewing platforms all had smiles on their faces as they waited for the next two trials. What they were looking forward to the most was still Zhao Fu obtaining the Blood Dragon Gate's inheritance. They had been waiting for that moment, and they did not care about the other people's performances. Chapter 2693. Book 1, Chapter 138. End of Book 1. Boom. A massive explosion once again sounded out as a blood-red door, giving off massive killing intent, appeared in the sky. The surrounding temperature quickly plummeted, and everyone else felt their hairs stand on end. The seventh Dao trial was the Blood Kill Sect trial. Whoosh! The blood-red door opened and a massive blood-red aura blew out, turning into a wild gale that blew towards everyone. Everyone hurriedly unleashed defensive barriers to defend. The power of the blood-colored gale was extremely strong. The ground was lifted up layer by layer and shot forward along with the gale. The scene was extremely terrifying. Countless traces of blood-red light came from outside, forming a thick wall of blood that blocked the gale and the flying rocks. Under such a terrifying gale, the people outside would be in great danger. Everyone stared at this scene in shock. The final two trials were on a completely different level to the previous ones. Just as the door opened, there was already such terrifying power. If it wasn't for the blood-red wall's protection, everyone outside would have been injured. Everyone's expressions became serious and serious. After the wild gale stopped, 3-meter-tall bald people with blood-red eyes walked out. They were no longer illusory images but corporeal bodies, and they gave off immense power, causing people to feel a trace of fear. Swish, 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 these people turned into rays of light and shot towards Zhao Fu and the others, tearing through the air. They were incredibly fast, and each of the bald people found a trial taker. There was also a bald person who gave off an intense killing intent as he rushed in front of Zhao Fu and punched towards Zhao Fu with shocking power. Zhao Fu's expression became serious, and he also punched out. Bang! The two fists collided, resulting in a shockwave that blasted out. Zhao Fu did not take a single step back, but the bald person took 7 or 8 steps back. The bald person rushing at Zhao Fu and the others from Serene Valley was much stronger than ordinary bald people, and the bald person rushing at Zhao Fu was even stronger than the 8 people, having Emperor Heaven Realm strength. Now, there were only a few dozen people left, and the area was completely empty, allowing them to unleash large-scale attacks. Boom! The bald man punched the ground, causing it to crack open. A ferocious blood-red energy rushed towards Zhao Fu, causing the ground to crack. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and a wave of power surged out, forming a semicircular cover. Bang! A muffled sound rang out as the ferocious energy barrier collided with the semicircular energy barrier. The semicircular energy barrier shook, and a few cracks appeared on it. Whoosh! In that instant, the bald man appeared behind Zhao Fu. His leg ferociously kicked towards Zhao Fu, causing the air to explode. Zhao Fu turned around and grabbed the leg. The strong wind blew Zhao Fu's hair backwards. Immediately, Zhao Fu grabbed the leg and threw it away. Following this, Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and a 30-centipede-like insect beast shot out from Zhao Fu's palm, leaving behind an afterimage as it shot into the bald man's body. The bald man let out a blood-curdling scream in midair. The centipede that had shot into his body devoured his body wantonly. Then, it burrowed out of the bald man's body. Its body was even bigger than the bald man's body. The bald man died tragically, and his body began to dissipate. Everyone looked quite shocked. It was the first time they had seen Zhao Fu use such a cruel method, and they felt some fear toward Zhao Fu. The other sect masters were also quite shocked. It was the first time they had seen Zhao Fu use such a method, and it did not seem to be the Blood Demon Legacy's power. Instead, it was an even more terrifying power. Zhao Fu defeated the bald man, and without the bald man looking for Zhao Fu, he had passed the 7th trial. Things did not go as smoothly for the others. A young man controlled the blood-red weapons around him and shot them at the bald man. The bald man gave off an intense blood-red light and did not look like he was going to dodge. He turned towards the blood-red weapons and sent them flying. The bald man arrived before the young man and punched out, sending the young man flying. A woman stretched out her hand, and a large amount of blood-red fog flowed out, covering the bald man's body and forming a ball of fog. An intense poison started to corrode the bald man, but the bald man roared and exploded out with energy, blowing away the blood-red fog and defeating the woman. A person from the Blood Beast sect condensed a blood-red tiger above his head and controlled it to fight with the bald man. However, it was quickly destroyed by the bald man's palm, and the bald man sent that person flying with another palm. The person coughed up a large mouthful of blood and did not even have the strength to crawl back up. A man from the Blood Demon sect jumped up and down, releasing a bewitching power that caused the bald man to stay where he was. Although it was a man using a bewitching power on a man, it was still effective. It was a pity that the bald man's eyes shot out a ray of killing intent that broke the bewitching art, and the man was defeated. In the end, only Zhao Fu and the 8 people from the Serum Valley survived. Other than the one from the Serum Valley, the others were all slightly injured. Seeing this scene, everyone was not too surprised. The 8 people from the Serum Valley were the most eye-catching people from the Blood Demon sect, and everyone had already expected that they would pass the 7th trial. Next, they were given some rest time to let everyone recover their strength and recover from their injuries. The Clear Blood Valley's people sat cross-legged on the ground with serious expressions as they recovered their strength and mental energy, while Zhao Fu stood there casually, creating a stark contrast. Shui Yuruo said softly, "Just how strong are you?" Zhao Fu smiled. "I don't know. I haven't met a match in the same realm." That's right. Ever since Zhao Fu had awakened the God Race's Emperor Star and raised his bloodline to the Source bloodline, he had never met a powerful opponent. Before he had awakened his bloodline, Hao Dao had been the strongest opponent he had ever met. But after Zhao Fu had obtained the God Race's Emperor Star, his power had greatly changed. Now, Hao Dao was no longer a match for Zhao Fu. Hao Dao was someone from the celestial world, and if he wasn't a match for Zhao Fu, then who could be a match for Zhao Fu? More importantly, after Zhao Fu had awakened the Spirit Race's Emperor Star, he had become even stronger. Shui Yuruo was also shocked by Zhao Fu's strength and did not doubt him. Boom! A massive explosion once more rang out, and a powerful pressure descended from the sky. Everyone felt their bodies sink as a blood-red gate slowly appeared. This was the 8th trial of the Blood Immortal Sect's inheritance. Swish, 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 the blood-red gate slowly opened, and a few rays of blood-red light shot out, bringing with them a destructive power as they shot toward Zhao Fu and the others. Everyone spread out their power, forming a blood-red barrier. Bang, bang, bang! Shi Qianhe and Shui Yomei's barriers were immediately destroyed. Their bodies trembled and blood flowed out of their mouths. Following this, the Blood 3 poisons and the others' barriers also shattered, but they were not injured. Chapter 2694. Cracks appeared on it, and then it shattered. Only Zhao Fu's barrier didn't shatter. There were only a few small cracks on it. But Zhao Fu didn't agree. Looking up at the blood gate, he warned, an even stronger attack is about to come. Just as Zhao Fu spoke, a few blood-red spears shot out from the blood-red door, shooting toward Zhao Fu and the others like bolts of blood-red lightning. They were shockingly fast. Bang! This time, Zhao Fu's energy barrier was shattered by the blood-red spear. But the blood-red spear also dissipated and did not harm Zhao Fu. Shui Sandu, Shi Qianhe, and Shui Yumei went all out to block, but they were sent flying by 3 spears. They vomited blood, their injuries not light. The others were also injured in order to block the spears. Zhao Fu walked over to Shui Yumei, who was lying on the ground. He poured his blood energy into her body, rapidly healing her injuries. Shui Yumei smiled. "Thank you, junior apprentice brother." Zhao Fu smiled. "You're welcome. Senior apprentice sister, you should withdraw. The next trial will be even more difficult." Shui Yumei smiled and nodded. Zhao Fu looked at the slightly injured Shui Yuruo. "You should withdraw as well. There's no need to continue." Shui Yuruo also understood the situation and snorted. "I know. It wasn't just the 2 of them who chose to withdraw. The others also understood that they couldn't endure the 8th trial, so they also chose to withdraw. In the end, only 3 people remained. One was Blood 7 Kills, as he didn't want to give up. Blood Purity Valley had some confidence in passing the 8th trial. As for Zhao Fu, he didn't feel much pressure. Boom! At this time, the blood gate in the sky released countless rays of light, and 3 arms shot out of it. Those arms constantly extended, smashing toward Zhao Fu's group of 3. Blood 7 Kills loudly roared and gathered all of his power into his fist. His fist gave off a brilliant light and punched out with a power that seemed to be able to destroy everything. Bang! A massive explosion sounded out as the fist and palm collided, resulting in a terrifying explosion. A large crater was smashed open in the ground, and the arm retreated into the sky while Blood 7 Kills' body was sent flying far away. It seemed that he no longer had the strength to continue fighting. Blood Clear Valley gathered all of his power into his arm, causing countless traces of blood-red chi to wrap around his arm, giving off a shocking aura. Boom! The 2 palms collided, and a shock wave spread out, causing the ground to crack. Serene Valley was forced back a few steps, and blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. His arm also retracted. One of Zhao Fu's hands gave off countless traces of blood-red aura, turning into a massive blood-red arm that slammed towards the incoming hand. Bang! The 2 hands collided in the sky, and a powerful force blew out in all directions like a gale. Some of the sand and stones on the ground were blown into the air, creating a frightening scene. Now there were only 2 people on the field. Swish, swish, swish. 20 or so arms shot out from the blood-red door and continuously extended, bringing with them immense power as they slammed towards Zhao Fu and Blood 7 Kills. Blood Clear Valley's expression fell, and he pressed his palms together, causing a massive blood-red aura flame to erupt around him. The massive blood-red aura flame turned into a 5-meter-tall general who only had the upper body of his body. He wore armor and had 4 arms. One held a saber, one held a spear, one held an axe, and one held a sword. The general's 4 arms held weapons and quickly slashed out, bringing with them countless blood-red arcs of light as they slashed out like a wild storm. Bang! 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 The countless blood-red saber lights continuously clashed against the incoming arms, resulting in massive sounds and shock waves rippled out. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and a large amount of blood flowed out, forming a blood-red sword. The first arm slammed toward Zhao Fu, and Zhao Fu dodged. The first arm slammed into the ground, causing a massive handprint to appear. The second and third arms vigorously slammed towards Zhao Fu from the left and right. Zhao Fu vigorously slashed out with his sword, sending out an enormous blood-red sword light that slashed apart the 2 arms. Following this, The countless arms gave off terrifying power as they attacked towards Zhao Fu incredibly quickly, not giving him any time to react. Bang! 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 The countless arms slammed into Zhao Fu, causing blood-red light to shine out and massive sounds to ring out. No one could see what had happened. After the light dissipated, everyone could see a blood-red crystal slowly splitting open, revealing Zhao Fu's body. At this moment, the countless arms flew toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu used his true power and slashed out with the blood-red sword, sending out a 1,000-meter-long blood-red sword light that slashed towards the countless arms, cutting them all off in an instant. On the other side, Blood-Clear Valley had also cut off many of the arms, but the number of arms attacking him was fewer than Zhao Fu's. After the arms were cut off, they slowly retracted back into the door, and no more arms shot out, causing everyone to let out a sigh of relief. Two massive blood-red beams of light shot out from the door and entered Zhao Fu and Blood-Clear Valley's bodies, increasing their power and improving their constitutions, as well as giving them a pure Blood Immortal's power. The 8th stage of the Blood Immortal Sect's trial concluded, and Zhao Fu and Clear Blood Valley had both passed. Everyone outside started cheering, and the scene was very lively. The thing that attracted the most attention in the 8th trial was not Zhao Fu, but the Clear Blood Valley. Everyone was sure that Zhao Fu would be able to pass the 8th trial, so they were not surprised at all. It was the Clear Blood Valley that had passed the 8th trial that was shocking. Shu Gu smiled and said to Xue Qianyu, "This Blood Clear Valley's aptitude is also very good. You've trained him well." Xue Qianyu smiled and nodded. He looked at the injured Blood Clear Valley. This time, Blood Clear Valley didn't disappoint him, and his previous training wasn't in vain. Tree Shade smiled and said, "When will Xue Qianyu be free? My disciple isn't bad either. Let them compete and see who's stronger." Xue Qianyu smiled and said, "No problem." The other Blood Immortal Gate's gate lords slightly sighed. The 8 trials had proven that the other 7 gates weren't as strong as the Blood Immortal Gate and were suppressed by the Blood Immortal Gate. Of course, although Zhao Fu also belonged to the Blood Immortal Gate, he had joined temporarily and didn't use the Blood Immortal Gate's power, so he was an exception. Everyone waited in place. After the 8 trials, it would be the Blood Immortal Gate's Gate Lord's trial. If they passed, they would become the Blood Immortal Gate's Gate Lord. The Blood Immortal Gate's trial hadn't appeared for a long time, so everyone was excited and looked forward to seeing the Blood Immortal Gate's trial again. Chapter 2695. Book 1. 140. Each the heavens and earth started to change as world energy quickly gathered and a boundless, formless power started to form. Everyone felt incredibly small, as if they were a speck of dust within the boundless universe. Boom, boom, boom. 8 massive explosions sounded out as the 8 blood gates in different parts of the Bloodlong sect gave off boundless blood-red light, which turned into blood-red beams of light that shot into the sky. The sky trembled as a wave of blood-red light containing enough power to sweep through the world spread out. In that moment, the world seemed to stop and fall into silence. The 8 massive blood gates brought with them a boundless might as they slowly descended from the sky, causing the heavens and earth to become blood-red. Everyone raised their heads to look at the 8 huge blood gates in the sky. They only felt a wave of shock in their hearts. They stood there in a daze, motionless. Boom! The 8 blood gates gave off a faint blood-red light as a massive aura spread out like a wave. The Bloodlong sect's final trial had begun. Under the might of the 8 blood gates, Xue Qinggu felt an unprecedented pressure, and beads of sweat appeared on his body. His body slightly trembled, and he looked like he was about to fall to the ground. The trial had only just released a bit of its aura, and he was already unable to bear it. Xue Qinggu roared in unwillingness as a massive wave of Blood Immortal's power spread out, forming a powerful wind that blew out. Xue Qinggu's body started to burn with a blood-red aura. Everyone looked at the power that Xue Qinggu had exploded out with. The 8 blood gates might gradually press down on Xue Qinggu's body, and Xue Qinggu's gaze was resolute as he gritted his teeth and desperately resisted. However, after a few moments, the blood-red aura around Xue Qinggu's body started to weaken, and he collapsed to the ground, unable to bear this might. Seeing this, Xue Qingyu sighed. He had thought that Xue Qinggu had a slight chance of becoming the blood-long sect master, but he had already failed. Xue Shura said comfortingly, "Qinggu has already performed very well. Ordinary people do not have the qualifications to reach this step." Xue Baimei smiled as she said, "Qinggu is already much more powerful than ordinary geniuses." Xue Xiao said, "That's right. If the blood-long sect's final trial was so easy, it would not be so difficult to become the blood-long sect master. My disciple did not even pass the 8th trial. I did not say anything." Shu Gu said, "Now it all depends on the other person." Everyone's gaze retracted from the blood serum valley and landed on Zhao Fu. Now, only Zhao Fu had the chance to become the leader of the Blood Dragon Gate. As that massive might descended, Zhao Fu did not feel any pressure at all. It was as if this might was a blood might, and Zhao Fu's bloodline was far superior to this blood might, so he was not greatly affected. However, Zhao Fu did not relax. As this pressure descended, Zhao Fu discovered that all other powers were restricted. Only the power of the Blood Demon sect could be used. It seems like the Bloodlong sect's trial requires the strength of the Bloodlong sect. The 8 blood-red doors each gave off a wave of blood-red power, which condensed into a massive blood-red ring of light. The ring of light brought with it an immense gravitational force, as if a massive mountain was pressing down, causing the space around it to twist slightly. Everyone felt their hearts jump. This gravitational force could easily crush them into mincemeat, and there was no way for them to resist. The ring of light slowly descended, and Zhao Fu, who was below, also felt a massive pressure. At first, Zhao Fu could use his own power to resist, but as the ring of light continued to descend, it became more difficult for Zhao Fu, and his body began to sweat. The Bloodlong sect's trial could not be underestimated, and Zhao Fu immediately put his hands together as strands of blood-red aura came out of his body. Strands of blood-red aura condensed above Zhao Fu's head and changed, forming a 2-meter-wide blood-red flower that looked like a peach blossom. It gave off a faint blood-red light, and it gave off an attractive power. Right now, Zhao Fu could only use the Blood Demon sect's power, and this was the Blood Demon flower. With the Blood Demon flower blocking above his head, Zhao Fu's body immediately relaxed, but the ring of light continued to descend. Every time it descended, the gravitational force would increase by many times. When the ring of light was only 12 meters away from Zhao Fu, the gravitational force became incredibly monstrous, and the ground continuously cracked. The Blood Demon flower above Zhao Fu's head also started to crumble. Zhao Fu's expression was serious as he put his hands together, and his body continuously gave off a blood-red aura that floated into the Blood Demon flower, causing the collapsing Blood Demon flower to solidify and give off an intense blood-red light to resist the gravitational force. Everyone's eyes stared at Zhao Fu. It seemed that the Bloodlong sect's trial was not simple, and they all felt quite nervous. The blood-red ring of light continued to descend, and when it was 8 meters above Zhao Fu felt a corporeal gravitational force pressing down on his body, and a large crater appeared on the ground. Zhao Fu stood at the center of the crater, and the top of the Blood Demon flower's petals started to crumble. Zhao Fu's expression was serious as he put his hands together, and his body continuously gave off blood-red aura as he continued to resist this massive gravitational force. Blood Serum Valley, who had already retreated out of the trial, had a look of shock on his face. He now knew how great the gap between him and Zhao Fu was. When the blood-red ring of light was only 3 meters away from Zhao Fu, the gravitational force became even more monstrous, and the space around it started to distort. Zhao Fu's body became quite hazy, and the Blood Demon flower above his head started to wither. In the end, The blood demon flower withered and disappeared, and the blood-red ring of light continued to descend. Zhao Fu coldly harumphed, and a massive blood-red mist flowed out of his body towards the blood-red ring of light above his head. The blood-red mist gradually passed through the ring of light, and traces of blood-red aura started to condense. It first formed a plant branch, which then grew a blood-red flower bud. The blood-red flower bud slowly bloomed, looking incredibly beautiful and giving off a soul-stirring feeling. The massive blood-red ring of light gradually collapsed, and a massive gravitational force gradually disappeared. This scene caused everyone to look shocked, feeling that it was both shocking and beautiful. Shui Baimei's beautiful eyes widened as she looked at Zhao Fu. I've never seen him use the blood demon's sex power before. How did he suddenly unleash the blood demon flower's power to its peak? Shui Wuzong said in shock. Apart from you, he's the second person to unleash the blood demon flower's power to its peak. However, you're a higher being while he's only at the Emperor Heaven realm. After some time, his control over the blood demon flower will definitely surpass yours. Hearing this, Shui Baimei nodded in agreement. The murderous blood bell said in admiration, only your blood demon sect has so many women. For that fellow to choose you, your blood demon sect is incredibly lucky. If I had known this would happen, I would have sent a beautiful woman to invite him. Chapter 2696, Volume 1, Chapter 141. Tree Shade said with a smile, I was envious of why he came to your long blood gate. Why didn't he go to my green forest? The key is that he's not far away. The Long Blood Gang's people felt quite startled. Indeed, Tree Shade was right. Now that they thought about it, the Long Blood Gang was quite lucky that Zhao Fu had chosen them. If Zhao Fu had chosen to join another faction, the Long Blood Gang wouldn't have been so happy. They also learned about the cause and effect. They knew that Zhao Fu, Shi Qian, and Shui Weiyao met in the Blood Demon ruins. When the trial is over, they should reward them. Without them, Zhao Fu wouldn't have come to the Long Blood Gate. Their eyes continued to look at the field. The blood-colored halo had completely collapsed, and the gravity had disappeared. In the sky, the 8 blood gates emitted a huge power, preparing for the next wave of the trial. Soon, the 8 blood-red doors gave off countless traces of blood-red aura. The blood-red aura flowed towards the center and condensed, forming a hexagonal blood-red crystal. It gave off a terrifying aura and felt quite dangerous. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A blood-colored cold light flew out from the crystal and hovered down from the sky. It was extremely sharp, as if it could cut the air in half. Numerous blood-colored cold lights hovered and attacked Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu's expression was solemn. He spread his arms, and a huge force spread out. A figure slowly appeared above Zhao Fu. It was a woman with a peerless beauty in the world. Her long, blood-colored hair draped over her shoulders. She was wearing a blood-colored robe. Her beauty made the world dim. No woman could compare to her. Whether it was men or women, they stood there motionless. Pairs of eyes stared at the figure with an infatuated expression. They fell into endless love. Not only these people, but those powerful beings were also affected. Their eyes stared at the figure, slightly lost. This figure looked very similar to Zhao Fu because this figure was condensed from Zhao Fu. It was called the Blood Ghost Spirit Body, and it was a kind of power of the Blood Ghost sect. Zhao Fu originally had a flawless appearance, and after becoming a woman, he became even more beautiful and moving. Naturally, he could cause countless people to fall in love and go crazy over him. At this moment, the surroundings were extremely quiet, and no one made a sound. Everyone was looking at Zhao Fu with infatuation. Bang, bang, bang. A series of muffled sounds rang out as the beams of cold light that spiraled down towards Zhao Fu were blocked by an invisible force before dissipating. The noise caused some people to come back to their senses. They were shocked by Zhao Fu's strength. Shugu could not help but say, if such a beautiful woman really existed in this world, I would not be able to help but fall in love with her. Tree Shade said, that face is so enviable. Xiao, xiao, xiao. More blood-colored cold lights flew out of the crystal and spiraled toward Zhao Fu. They were very fast, and there were a lot of them. There were at least a few hundred of them. The figure behind Zhao Fu once again emitted an even more powerful force. Bang, bang, bang. The hundreds of cold lights were all blocked by an invisible force and stopped in midair. Then they directly dispersed and disappeared. This seemed to have directly angered the blood crystal. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as the blood-red crystal gave off boundless light. Rays of rhombus-shaped blood-red light condensed around the blood-red crystal, numbering in the thousands and giving off an extremely dangerous aura. Whoosh! At that moment, all the diamond-shaped bloodlight shot down toward Zhao Fu. It was as if they were going to cut everything into pieces. Nothing could stop them. The figure behind Zhao Fu raised a slender hand. A huge wave of energy surged out, spreading out like waves of water. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as the countless rays of blood-red light were once again blocked, and a shocking shockwave blew out, sending countless rocks and sand flying. This time, the many blood lights did not dissipate. Instead, they continued to hit the water wave, trying to break this defense. The figure raised his hand and pushed upwards, and an even more powerful force spread out. Bang, bang, bang. The countless rays of blood-colored light shattered, emitted a series of sounds, and then disappeared. The blood crystal in the sky was completely angry. It slightly vibrated, and a terrifying aura was constantly emitted from it, causing the wind and clouds to change. Boom! A huge blood-colored light beam, with the power to cut the world, shot down towards Zhao Fu like a thunderbolt. It brought a strong gust of wind, as if no one could stop it. The figure raised his hand, and an even more powerful force surged out. Bang! A deafening sound rang out, and the blood-colored light swallowed Zhao Fu's figure. Everyone couldn't see what happened, but the ground was shaking violently. Waves of shock waves continued to spread out. The cold, destructive aura made people feel like they had fallen into ice water. When the lights slowly dissipated, everyone could clearly see the scene in front of them. A huge crater appeared on the field. It was thousands of meters wide and tens of meters deep. It was surrounded by scattered gravel and mud. However, Zhao Fu, who was standing in the center of the crater, was not injured. The figure behind him became very blurry. Bang! A crisp sound rang out, and the blood crystal in the sky turned into countless blood-colored light spots and dissipated. Zhao Fu had successfully passed this trial. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. The blood-colored light that shot down just now was too terrifying. The handsome youth, Qiu Yi, said in surprise. Although this person only used the power of the blood demon sect, the power he displayed was actually so great. Your blood elder sect has gained another shocking talent. Tree Shade looked at Shui Baimei. Is your blood demon sect really that powerful? Shui Baimei rolled her eyes at Tree Shade. Of course. This is the blood demon sect's power, and he's fully unleashed it. Blood Shura asked, really? Now that Zhao Fu had unleashed the blood demon sect's power, the blood elder sect's people felt quite shocked. This was completely different to their impression of him. Shui Baimei said, if I use the blood demon sect's power, I won't be any weaker than him. Tree Shade lightly laughed. You're a higher being, and he's just a measly Emperor Heaven Realm cultivator? Don't you think it's funny? Shui Baimei said, you've all seen the blood demon sect's power, so I won't explain anymore. Also, he's my disciple and I know him. White Moon said playfully, your relationship with your disciple isn't normal. Shui Baimei smiled and nodded, not seeming to mind the others. Hearing this, White Moon gave a trace of a smile. At that moment, Shui Qianyu suddenly said, next is the final trial. If he can pass it, he will become the future Blood Elder Sect's sect master. Everyone looked at Zhao Fu expectantly. They were about to witness the most important moment. Chapter 2697. Book 1. Chapter 142 Seal. The 8 blood-red doors in the sky gave off massive auras before slowly opening. 8 blood-red figures giving off massive power slowly walked out. There were men and women, and they all looked different. They were the people who had established the blood sect, and they were the first sect masters of the 8 blood doors. They were here to personally assess the final trial. Everyone looked at the 8 blood-red figures, who were like godly spirits that ruled over the heavens and earth. Sensing their massive power, they felt a sense of powerlessness. They were not existences that they could fight against. Swish! One of the 8 blood-red figures shot incredibly quickly towards Zhao Fu, leaving behind a blur. The figure behind Zhao Fu gave off a formless force field, protecting Zhao Fu's body. The figure was a well-built man, and he rushed in front of Zhao Fu. He raised his fist and punched out with massive power. Bang! The force field protecting Zhao Fu was blasted apart by the punch, and the force turned into a wild gale. Zhao Fu was not injured, but the figure behind him gradually disappeared. After breaking through Zhao Fu's defenses, the blood-red figure flipped its body and kicked towards Zhao Fu with massive power. Zhao Fu hurriedly dodged. Bang! The kick landed on the ground, causing the ground to crack. Countless gravel and sand were blown away like a strong wind. Zhao Fu's body appeared on the other side, having just dodged this attack. One of the 7 blood-red figures in the sky rushed toward Zhao Fu. It looked like a middle-aged man, and its palm brought with it a powerful gale as it slammed towards Zhao Fu's chest. Zhao Fu used his hand to block. Bang! A muffled sound rang out as Zhao Fu's body was sent flying 7 or 8 meters away, and a trace of blood leaked out of his mouth. Zhao Fu looked at the blood-red figure seriously. This person was incredibly powerful to be able to injure him. The people outside were also shocked. They had watched for a long time, but this was the first time they had seen Zhao Fu injured. This final trial was not an ordinary level of difficulty. The middle-aged man coldly looked at Zhao Fu and once again charged toward Zhao Fu. He was extremely fast, and his palm once again slapped towards Zhao Fu with immense power. A blood-red aura flame erupted around Zhao Fu as he clenched his fist and punched out. Bang! The fist and the palm collided, and a blood-colored shockwave spread out, causing the ground to crack in an instant. At this moment, the man who kicked with his leg quickly rushed toward Zhao Fu. He arrived in front of Zhao Fu and kicked Zhao Fu horizontally. Zhao Fu's body leapt up, dodging this attack. An ugly woman in the sky also made a move. She stretched out her hand, and a wave of blood-colored mist shot toward Zhao Fu. This woman was most likely the first blood poison sect leader, and the blood-colored mist that surged out was blood poison, which was extremely poisonous. Bang! Zhao Fu vigorously punched out, and a fist energy brought with it a gust of wind as it hit the blood-colored mist, causing it to dissipate. Zhao Fu's expression became serious as he looked at the many blood-red figures. There were only 3 people attacking, and if he used his current strength, he would definitely lose against 8 people. Moreover, the Blood Demon sect strength was not suitable for direct combat. The middle-aged man and the other man gave off powerful auras as they rushed toward Zhao Fu. Boom! A massive wave of power exploded out from Zhao Fu's body, continuously spreading out like a flood, forcing the 2 attacking people to stop. Now, Zhao Fu had exploded out with all of the Blood Demon sect's power, and his body started to change. His nails became longer, his ears became sharper, and his appearance became gentler and more feminine. A vertical eye slowly grew out of his forehead. This vertical eye had 2 blood-red eyeballs that gave off a faint blood-red light, and it seemed to have a soul-stirring power. An enchanting woman in the sky sensed Zhao Fu's power and instantly attacked Zhao Fu. She flew towards Zhao Fu and gently slapped out with her palm, causing a few images of women to appear around her and give off a formless power as they attacked toward Zhao Fu. After exploding out with all of the Blood Demon sect's power, Zhao Fu was much more powerful than before. He raised a hand, and a massive wave of power gathered in his palm. Swish! The sound of the air being torn could be heard as a thin, blood-red beam of light containing terrifying power shot out, seeming to split the sky in two. The women's images, which gave off massive auras, were also cut apart. The women's images dissipated, and the enchanting woman was forced back. On the ground, the two men quickly rushed at Zhao Fu from the left and right. After they reached Zhao Fu's side, the young man punched towards Zhao Fu from the left with shocking power, while the middle-aged man punched towards Zhao Fu from the right. Zhao Fu stood in the middle, and the third eye on his forehead spun, causing a formless, bewitching power to spread out. The gazes of the two men attacking Zhao Fu became slightly dazed. Bang! At that moment, Zhao Fu's body flew upwards as the young man and middle-aged man's fists and palms collided. A massive shock wave blasted out, causing the ground to crack. The two people were sent flying back, and a trace of blood leaked out of their lips. The vertical eye on Zhao Fu's forehead was called the Blood Succubus Demon Eye, and it had the most powerful, bewitching power. Seeing this scene, the people in the sky gave off massive auras as they rushed at Zhao Fu. Swish! 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 A gentle-looking young man gave off a massive blood-red aura, which quickly condensed into different weapons. The gentle-looking young man controlled these weapons to shoot toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and a formless energy spread out, blocking the incoming blood-red weapons. A young man's figure suddenly appeared in front of Zhao Fu, and he raised his hand and vigorously slashed down, the terrifying power blasting apart Zhao Fu's defenses. Roar! A loud roar rang out from the strong one on the ground. The muscular man on the ground gave off a massive wave of blood-red energy, which formed a massive and mighty lion. The man punched out, and the blood-red lion gave off a shocking aura as it attacked toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu turned and charged towards the blood-red lion, which reached Zhao Fu and opened its massive mouth as it bit toward Zhao Fu, seeming as if it could devour Zhao Fu in one gulp. Zhao Fu's fist contained terrifying power as it punched out. Bang! The blood-red lion was blasted apart by the punch, and it turned into a blood-red gale that blew out in all directions. A skinny, bald young man suddenly appeared behind Zhao Fu, and his palm was like a saber as he slashed towards Zhao Fu with immense killing intent. Zhao Fu's body was split in half by that palm. Seeing this scene, everyone felt quite startled, but the two halves of Zhao Fu's body dissipated. It was evident that it was not Zhao Fu's main body, and everyone let out a sigh of relief. Following this, Zhao Fu appeared on the other side. A few people rushed toward Zhao Fu and surrounded Zhao Fu. Chapter 2698. Book 1. Zhao Fu. A person vigorously punched out, bringing with it a powerful wind. A woman's palm gave off terrifying power as it slapped toward Zhao Fu. A person's hand gave off immense power as it grabbed toward Zhao Fu, and a person controlled a large blood-red saber as it slashed toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu's pupil spun, and a formless, bewitching power spread out. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as an intense explosion sounded out in the sky. Countless traces of blood-red light spread out as the four people's bodies flew backwards, receiving heavy injuries. Zhao Fu's body appeared on the other side, and countless traces of blood-red fog flowed towards Zhao Fu from all directions, giving off ferocious sounds. At that moment, Zhao Fu put his palms together, and images of women flew out from Zhao Fu's body, passing through the blood-red fog and appearing in front of the hideous-looking woman. They gave off immense power as they slammed towards the hideous-looking woman. Bang! The hideous-looking woman was not prepared and was sent flying backwards by this massive power. Her body turned into countless motes of light and dissipated. Zhao Fu breathed out. He had finally dealt with one, and there were still 7 left. The middle-aged man appeared in front of Zhao Fu, and his gaze was cold as he ferociously slammed his palm toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu did not move and looked into the middle-aged man's eyes through the third eye on his forehead. A massive bewitching power flowed into the middle-aged man's body, causing the middle-aged man's eyes to glaze over and his palm to stop attacking Zhao Fu. The bald man raised his fist and gave off a blood-red light as he punched toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu dodged backwards, avoiding this attack, and he controlled the middle-aged man to attack the bald young man. The two of them intensely fought, sending out waves of energy. Boom! The bald young man's hand gave off countless traces of blood-red aura flames, which turned into a massive hand that grabbed toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu had wanted to once again dodge, but the countless blood-red weapons containing terrifying power shot towards him from below. Boom! A massive power quickly surged out from Zhao Fu's body, forming a massive blood-red energy shield that enveloped his body. The blood-red weapons and blood-red hands slammed against the barrier, causing a shocking aura to spread out. A few long cracks appeared on the barrier, but it was not broken. Bang! The muscular man appeared and shattered the energy barrier with a punch. His fist brought with it a powerful force as it continued toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu did not move, and the pupil between his eyebrows gave off a formless charm, causing the well-built man's eyes to become dazed. However, the fist continued to punch towards Zhao Fu with great power. Zhao Fu dodged to the side, and the moment they brushed past each other, he straightened his palm and punched forward. His palm pierced through the strong youth's chest, and the strong youth's body turned into countless specks of light and dissipated. Another one was taken care of, and there were still 6 left. Bang! The middle-aged man, controlled by Zhao Fu, was not a match for the bald young man and was sent flying, coughing up a large mouthful of blood. The bald young man did not continue to attack and instead prepared to rush at Zhao Fu, planning to attack Zhao Fu first. Zhao Fu immediately controlled the middle-aged man to rush at the bald young man and hug him. The bald young man tried to break free from the middle-aged man's embrace, but seeing that the bald young man could not break free, Zhao Fu immediately had the middle-aged man self-destruct. Bang! A massive explosion sounded out as countless rays of light blasted out. A large crater was blasted open in the ground, and the bald young man's body was blasted flying backwards before turning into motes of light and dissipating. After dealing with another 2, there were still 4 left. Seeing Zhao Fu continuously kill a few people in front of him, a look of fury appeared on the young man's face. He grabbed out with a hand, and countless traces of blood-red energy flowed out, forming a spear that he vigorously stabbed toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu immediately used his power to condense a blood-red sword and vigorously slashed forwards. Shing! The two of them collided, resulting in a metallic collision sound, and a massive shockwave spread out. The young man continuously stabbed out with his spear, causing Zhao Fu to deflect the incoming spear. However, a person suddenly appeared behind Zhao Fu, and a claw gave off 5 rays of blood-red light as it ferociously swiped at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu tried to dodge to the side, but a bloody gash appeared on his arm. The person continued to rush at Zhao Fu, and his claw gave off blood-red light as it shot towards Zhao Fu's throat. Zhao Fu did not dodge, and he gathered massive amounts of power at his forehead. Swish! A blood-red beam of light shot out from Zhao Fu's forehead, containing shocking power as it shot towards that person. It quickly pierced through that person's chest, and that person's body turned into motes of light and dissipated. Boom! The young man vigorously stabbed out with his spear, and a massive blood-red spear image containing terrifying power stabbed toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu used his sword to block, but his body was sent flying. Another man controlled many blood-red weapons to shoot toward Zhao Fu, while Zhao Fu continuously swung his sword, leaving behind afterimages as he shattered the incoming blood-red weapons. The final seductive woman stretched out a hand toward Zhao Fu, and a powerful beam of light shot out toward Zhao Fu, giving off terrifying sounds. Shing! Zhao Fu vigorously slashed out, sending out a sharp blood-red sword arc that slashed apart the beam of light. This time, Zhao Fu attacked, and he quickly rushed towards the seductive woman. The woman did not show any fear, and she gave off powerful power as she rushed toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu sent a massive amount of power into the sword in his hand, causing it to give off an intense blood-red sword light. He vigorously slashed out, bringing with it a massive blood-red crescent as it slashed towards the woman. The seductive woman's expression fell, and she sent out a palm containing a powerful aura toward Zhao Fu, as if it could shatter a mountain. Bang! The massive aura was instantly slashed apart by the crescent, which continued to fly forwards. In that instant, the woman's body was also slashed apart by the crescent, and her body turned into motes of light and dissipated. Now, there were only two people left. The strongest was the young man, because he was the blood immortal sect master. Zhao Fu rushed towards the other man, and Zhao Fu planned to deal with the strongest young man. The young man saw Zhao Fu's goal and waved a spear in his hand, sending out a massive force toward Zhao Fu. This caused Zhao Fu to stop defending. The other man stretched out a hand, and countless traces of blood power surged out, turning into a blood-red rope that shot toward Zhao Fu, binding Zhao Fu's waist. The man vigorously swung the blood-red rope, throwing Zhao Fu to the side. The young man rushed towards the other man, and the spear in his hand stabbed out ferociously, as if it could pierce through anything. Zhao Fu also vigorously stabbed out with his sword. Bang! An explosion sounded out as the two of them collided, and a powerful force spread out, forcing both of them back. Zhao Fu turned to look at the man, grabbed the blood-red rope, and pulling the man in front of him. He swung his sword, and a sword light cut off the panicking man's head, causing the man's body to turn into motes of light and dissipate. Chapter 2699. Book 1. Chapter 144. Boom. An even louder explosion sounded out as the young man looked furious. His body continuously grew until he was 100 or so meters tall. He had 6 arms and 3 heads, and he held different weapons. He gave off a massive aura. Whoosh! The giant swung the weapons in its 6 arms, and 6 powerful waves of energy blasted out, turning into an even more powerful gale that blasted towards Zhao Fu. The gale was incredibly powerful, and it tore apart the ground and caused countless rocks and sand to fly into the air. Zhao Fu gave off a massive wave of energy that once again formed a massive blood-red energy barrier, blocking this powerful gale. Bang! The giant suddenly stepped forwards and swung its 6 weapons toward Zhao Fu, smashing Zhao Fu into the ground and opening up a large crater. The defensive barrier started to crack, and a trace of blood leaked out of Zhao Fu's lips. Zhao Fu's expression became cold as he wiped away the blood from his lips and pressed a hand against the ground. Boom! A massive blood-red aura exploded out from the giant's feet, forming a massive pillar of air and giving off a shocking aura. Countless branches suddenly emerged from the pillar of air, wrapping around the giant's body as if they were trying to break it. The intense pain caused the giant to howl miserably and struggle with all its might. However, after struggling for a while, the giant was unable to break free, and the branches tightened even more, causing the giant's body to bulge. The branches absorbed the giant's power, and blood-red flower buds started to grow at the top of the branches. Boom! 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 6 loud booms rang out as the giant's 6 arms struggled to raise the weapons in their hands. 6 bolts of blood-red lightning struck down from the sky, causing the ground to crack and lightning to shoot out in all directions. It was as if everything was going to be destroyed in an instant. The scene was extremely terrifying. The branches wrapped around the giant were cut off, and Zhao Fu retreated into the distance in the face of the lightning. The blood-red giant coldly looked at Zhao Fu and vigorously stabbed out with its 6 weapons. 6 massive blood-red beams of light containing terrifying power shot toward Zhao Fu, bringing with them ferocious gales. The peerlessly beautiful figure once again appeared behind Zhao Fu, and she stretched out a slim, white arm as a massive wave of power rippled out. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as the 6 blood-red beams of light slammed into the wave, causing blinding light to spread out as a shocking aura spread out. The blood-red light disappeared as Zhao Fu blocked the attack, and the figure behind him disappeared. By now, the giant had arrived in front of Zhao Fu, and its 6 arms swung at Zhao Fu with different weapons. Zhao Fu could only defend and dodge. The giant's strength was extremely great. When his weapon struck the ground, it caused the ground to shatter. When it struck the stone wall collapsed. The scene looked extremely dangerous. Bang! The giant raised a blood-red sword and sent Zhao Fu flying back with immense power. Just as Zhao Fu's body stopped, the giant gave off a massive aura and rushed at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu coldly looked at the giant and did not plan on dodging. He stood there and gathered all of his power at his forehead, causing the eyeball on his forehead to give off a blood-red light. An extremely terrifying power spread out, and traces of blood-red aura flowed out. By now, the giant had reached Zhao Fu, and its 6 arms raised different weapons as it vigorously slashed down at Zhao Fu. Boom! A thin blood-red line shot out from between Zhao Fu's eyebrows and tore through the sky. It was not obstructed at all, and it pierced through the giant's forehead. The scene seemed to freeze, and the giant's body turned into motes of blood-red light and disappeared. The people outside could not help but cry out. This was the blood-long sect's final trial, and now that Zhao Fu had passed, he would become the future blood-long sect's sectmaster. With Zhao Fu's current fame, status, and power, he would definitely become the blood-long sect's sectmaster. Becoming the blood-long sect's sectmaster was a joyous matter. The sectmasters were also smiling. Zhao Fu had not disappointed them. He had truly become the blood-long sect's sectmaster. Shui Yumei, Shui Yurao, and the other women who were related to Zhao Fu also had smiles on their faces. They were happy that Zhao Fu had become the blood-long sect's sectmaster. The blood-red doors in the sky once again slowly closed, and the 8 blood-red doors gave off a boundless wave of blood-red power that covered Zhao Fu's body. Zhao Fu was startled. He felt that this blood-red energy was harmless, and he did not resist. The blood-red energy enveloped Zhao Fu's body and brought him up to the 8 blood gates. Sensing their auras at such a close distance, Zhao Fu was shocked. At this moment, the power of heaven and earth gathered rapidly. The boundless luck of the entire blood-long sect also gathered like a flood and poured into the 8 blood gates. The 8 blood gates released a faint blood-red light. The blood-red energy enveloping Zhao Fu's body released an intense blood-red light. Heaven and earth's energy, the blood-long sect's karmic luck, and the inheritance's energy poured into Zhao Fu's body. This energy was much stronger than the Blood Devil inheritance. Sensing this energy, Zhao Fu smiled. As Zhao Fu absorbed this energy, the first evil immortal's bloodline also grew stronger. That was because the blood-long sect's inheritance energy was also related to blood. Zhao Fu felt that although his method of using essence blood to obtain his bloodline wasn't as good as the first evil immortal's bloodline, if he used all kinds of inheritance energy to increase it, it wouldn't be any weaker than the first evil immortals. The energy that flowed into Zhao Fu's body formed 7 blood gates. Before, Zhao Fu had obtained the blood ghost sect's inheritance and condensed a small blood gate within his body. Now that he was absorbing the other 7 blood gates' inheritance energy, he also condensed 7 blood gates. The 8 small blood gates were located in 8 different locations within Zhao Fu's body, forming a circle. As massive amounts of power continuously flowed into Zhao Fu's body, the 8 small blood gates gave off intense light and formed a small sphere at the center. Even though this sphere was small, it gave off the blood-long sect's purest power. Massive amounts of inheritance energy continuously flowed into Zhao Fu's body, causing the small sphere to continuously grow larger and the power it gave off to become more and more terrifying. Finally, it reached its limit. Boom! A shocking explosion sounded out as Zhao Fu stood in the sky, giving off boundless blood-red light and giving off an aura that seemed to rule over heaven and earth. Zhao Fu's appearance also changed. His long hair became blood-red, and his eyes also became blood-red. His entire body emitted a dense blood qi, causing others to feel afraid. Everyone in the Blood Elder Gate felt a formless pressure. Apart from the elders and the Gate Master, everyone uncontrollably knelt down, respectfully welcoming the birth of the Gate Master. In the end, the aura that Zhao Fu gave off weakened, and the abnormal signs also disappeared. Zhao Fu had successfully obtained the Blood-Long Sect's inheritance, becoming the Sect Master. Chapter 2700. Book 1, Chapter 145. The people from the other factions were envious. The leader of the Bloodlong Sect was such a peerless genius. Under his leadership, the Bloodlong Sect would definitely prosper and reach the pinnacle. Zhao Fu flew down from the sky with a smile on his face. Finally, the matter with the Bloodlong Sect was settled. Now, he could openly use the Bloodlong Sect to collect blood essence for him. Xue Qianyu smiled. Congratulations on becoming the leader of the Bloodlong Sect. Zhao Fu smiled and replied, Thank you. Xue Qianyu smiled and said, You don't have to be so courteous with me now. In the future, your achievements will definitely surpass ours. At that time, we will have to listen to you. That's right. You're the future hope of our Bloodlong Sect. Now, you only need to stay in the Bloodlong Sect. We will do our best to help you cultivate and make you an existence that surpasses us. Zhao Fu said, I'm sorry. I might have to leave this place soon. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Now that Zhao Fu had obtained the position of the Bloodlong Sect Master, many Sect Masters and Elders were willing to support him. Zhao Fu had everything he wanted in the Bloodlong Sect. He should have stayed in the sect. Why did he want to leave right after obtaining the position? Xue Baimei frowned. Did I hear wrongly? Zhao Fu said seriously, Yes, I might leave immediately. Even though Zhao Fu had become the Gate Master of the Bloodlong Gate, Zhao Fu could not stay there forever. He needed to obtain other legacies and powers to awaken the highest Emperor Star in the outer world. As for the matter of collecting the blood essence, Zhao Fu would come back to collect it every once in a while. There was also the matter of the bronze shards. They could not let the Blood Elder Gate collect them, as everyone knew that the Chaos Child was collecting a large amount of essence blood and bronze shards. Zhao Fu collecting countless amounts of essence blood was already quite suspicious, and if he collected bronze shards, they would be able to confirm Zhao Fu's identity. Xue Baimei said unhappily, Why are you leaving? Zhao Fu replied, I have my own matters to attend to. I cannot stay in the Bloodlong Sect forever. What do you want? The bell asked. Zhao Fu said apologetically, I can't tell you this. Xue Baimei's beautiful eyes stared at Zhao Fu as she said angrily, Just who are you? Previously, you said that you don't belong to any faction, but I feel that you always have a purpose and a plan. Seeing the tense atmosphere, Xue Qianyu smiled and said, He only left because he had something to do. It's not like he cut off all ties with the Bloodlong Sect. I think he has his own difficulties, and we should understand him. Xue Baimei snorted and looked at Zhao Fu. I don't want him to leave. The fierce blood bell said softly, Forget it. We can't keep him, so we might as well let him leave. Next to him, Tree Shade said with a smile, Where are you going? If it's possible, I'd like to invite you to my place. Zhao Fu was a little tempted. He did not know what kind of inheritance and power he would receive if he went to their faction. Tree Shade smiled and continued to ask, How is it? If you want to go, I don't mind accompanying you. Zhao Fu glanced at the people from the Bloodlong Sect. He had just become the Bloodlong Sect's Sect Master. It was inappropriate for the Bloodlong Sect to go to other factions. Moreover, Zhao Fu still needed the Bloodlong Sect to collect fresh blood. So he couldn't offend the Bloodlong Sect, so he refused. I'm very sorry, but I have other places to go. Tree Shade was a little disappointed, but he smiled and said, It's fine. You can come to my place whenever you're free. Tree Shade also smiled and said, My faction also welcomes you anytime. The people from other factions also smiled and politely invited Zhao Fu. It could be seen how popular Zhao Fu was. The Bloodlong sect master breathed a sigh of relief. He was actually quite worried that Zhao Fu would go to another faction and become the sect master again. If that happened, the Bloodlong sect would only be one of the inheritances he obtained, which was not very important to him. After the trial ended, everyone excitedly left. This trial was very exciting. Not only did everyone perform well, but they also witnessed the birth of the Bloodlong sect master. After the trial ended, Zhao Fu found the other sect masters and asked them to help him collect fresh blood. He also told them that he would come back every once in a while. The sect masters happily agreed. Knowing that Zhao Fu would come back, they felt more at ease with Zhao Fu. They didn't wonder why Zhao Fu needed so much essence blood. After all, the Bloodlong sect's cultivation technique and the Blood Demon inheritance both required a large amount of blood. After that, there was a warm celebration, mainly for Zhao Fu becoming the Bloodlong sect master. The women knew that Zhao Fu was about to leave, so they were very reluctant. But Zhao Fu didn't want to bring them with him because there were too many people. The Blood Charm Gate had dozens of senior and junior apprentice sisters. The Blood Poison Gate had a few beautiful women. The Blood Beast Gate had a few, and the Blood Crowd Gate had over 10, as well as Shui Yura. Adding all of them together, Zhao Fu couldn't bring so many people to roam the world. Furthermore, Zhao Fu was planning on having the Blood Devil Guards, as well as the women from the Blood Devil Ancient Remnant. Their cultivation required fresh blood. Staying with a large faction like the Bloodlong sect was better than staying by his side. It would also reduce their numbers. Junior apprentice brother, are you really going to leave? Shui Yomei's eyes were glistening with tears. She seemed very reluctant to see Zhao Fu leave. It seemed that she had truly fallen in love with Zhao Fu. Regretfully, Zhao Fu wouldn't stay for her. Zhao Fu nodded. Shui Yura softly said, Come back early. Be careful. Although you used such a method to obtain me, I'm not that angry. You're the man of my life, and I don't want anything to happen to you. Zhao Fu looked at Shui Yumei and Shui Yura. The two of them had a deeper relationship with Zhao Fu than the other women. If it wasn't a relationship of wealth, then it was a relationship of body. The three gate masters were even more uncontrollable. It was even possible that they would kill him in a fit of rage. Zhao Fu smiled. I know. Once I'm done with everything, I'll bring you with me. We'll be together forever. Shui Yumei smiled. Yes, I trust you. Shui Yura also smiled. Remember your words. Don't forget them. Zhao Fu seriously nodded. Following that, Zhao Fu left the Bloodlong sect and returned to the place he had arranged with Ericina and the others. It had been a while since he had seen them, and they all missed Zhao Fu greatly. Ericina bitterly pinched Zhao Fu a few times. She knew about Zhao Fu's affairs in the Bloodlong sect and how he had left them in the cold. Zhao Fu hugged her with a smile. After a day of entanglement, Zhao Fu had the Blood Devil Guards remain in the Bloodlong sect. He brought Ericina, the others, and the Lan Banyuan brothers to the next region. Apex. Chapter 2701. Book 1. Zhao Fu was stunned. The first thing he did after leaving the Bloodlong sect was to refine a large amount of essence blood. Before, Zhao Fu had used the Bloodline Legacy to raise the first evil immortal bloodline to stage 4, and he had obtained 10,000 essence blood from Shuoya. However, because it would cause abnormal signs, he did not fuse it. After obtaining 100,000 essence blood from Shui Wuzong and the Bloodlong sect's legacy power, Zhao Fu was able to raise the first evil immortal bloodline to stage 5. Zhao Fu first found a hidden place and sat cross-legged on the ground as he took out 10,000 bottles of essence blood. Shattering sounds could be heard as countless bottles shattered and the blood within flew towards Zhao Fu and fused into Zhao Fu's body. Within Zhao Fu's body, countless insect beasts once again appeared. There was also a demon with a blood-red horn on its head and 3 blood-red eyes. It had a muscular body and a pair of blood-red wings on its back. This was the Blood Demon Legacy power, and Zhao Fu planned to fuse into the first evil immortal bloodline as well. Roar! 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 Countless roars sounded out as the 10,000 or so insect beasts madly rushed at Zhao Fu. They did not want to be devoured by Zhao Fu and instinctively resisted Zhao Fu. Roar! The blood demon roared furiously and gave off a massive aura. However, it did not attack Zhao Fu but the insect beasts. Zhao Fu was the blood demon legatee and could do whatever he wanted with the legacy power. Moreover, the legacy power would not resist. The blood demon legatee slashed out with its bloodline claws and 5 blood-red claw marks containing terrifying power slashed towards the insect beasts, tearing many insect beast bodies apart and causing blood and flesh to fly everywhere. The dismembered corpses and fresh blood fell into the blood pool, directly turning into blood and disappearing without a trace. Zhao Fu controlled the blood pool to devour the insect beasts, and after dealing with the countless insect beasts, he allowed the blood demon legatee to enter. Boom! A shocking sound rang out as Ericina and the other women guarding nearby saw a blood-red ray of light give off a powerful aura as it shot into the sky. Waves of blood-red light rippled out in the sky, causing shocking ripples to spread out. Ericina was shocked. Why is this phenomenon so big? This time, the phenomenon caused by the 4th stage was more than 20 times that of the 3rd stage, and the range of effect was also very large. Just as Ericina expected, the people in the distance saw the sky turn blood-red, and it was still spreading towards them. They understood that something must have happened. Some people wanted to go and take a look out of curiosity, while others returned home in fear. The fluctuation didn't stop. The blood-colored sky was like a blood-colored quilt as it continued to move forward. It had already reached the vicinity of the Blood Dragon Gate. The people of the Bloodlong sect looked at the blood-red sky strangely, not knowing what was going on. The sect leaders' expressions became serious because the area covered by the abnormal sign was so large, meaning that this was not a small matter. None of them had expected Zhao Fu to be the one who had caused such a huge phenomenon. Not only the Bloodlong Gate's people, but the forces near the Bloodlong Gate, such as Lonely Tree and Tree Shade, were also looking at the bloody sky with a serious expression. What happened in that direction? The experts all felt a sense of unease, and after thinking about it, they flew in that direction. Hiss, 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 countless loud hissing sounds suddenly resounded through the sky. The sound waves spread out, and the people who were flying forward suddenly stopped. They felt a creepy power and looked at the sky in shock. There seemed to be eyes growing in the sky. There were human eyes, insect eyes, beast eyes, bird eyes. Each eye was emitting a crazy, twisted, bloody, perverted, and evil aura, densely covering the entire sky. It was impossible to count how many of them there were. Under the gaze of so many eyes, even Lonely Tree, Shui Qianyu, and the other experts felt like they were being seen through. There was an instinctive trace of fear in their hearts. As for the weaker people, their hearts were filled with fear and their bodies were trembling. The people further away also showed a terrified expression when they saw the eyes growing in the sky. It was the first time they had seen such a terrifying scene. The experts in different parts of the chaotic world felt this fluctuation, and their faces changed. They knew what kind of power this was. After such a long time, the number 1 evil celestial's legacy has finally appeared again. I've been searching for him this entire time, but ever since he gave off those ripples, I haven't been able to find any information about him. I wonder who it was that obtained such a terrifying legacy. From these ripples, it's not any weaker than the number 1 evil celestial from back then. This legatee's potential is incredibly terrifying, and if he matures, he'll definitely be even more dangerous than the number 1 evil celestial. I also sensed a bad omen from these ripples. No matter who this person is, they must die, or else they'll cause a bloodbath in the chaotic world. This crazy, perverted power is really disgusting. Only a super perverted lunatic can inherit this power. Of course, this kind of person must die. Just thinking about what kind of person can obtain this kind of ultimate power is really frightening. AI. Troubled times, troubled times. The owner of the heaven-awakened world's 8 emperor stars has descended. The chaotic world's primal chaos child has appeared. And now, the number 1 evil celestial's legatee has appeared. The various experts did not hesitate and gave off terrifying auras as they flew over. Countless people took the matter of the number 1 evil celestial seriously. The 4 alliances quickly sent out orders that they had to find the number 1 evil celestial's legatee, no matter what price they had to pay. The town security in the surrounding alliances immediately received orders and did not hesitate to hurry over in Zhao Fu's direction. Within the blood-red pillar of light, Zhao Fu's body started to go through changes, and an even more powerful power spread out from his body. Erisina and the others felt quite worried. They could already sense many people giving off terrifying auras flying over. Zhao Fu also sensed many experts, but it would still take some time for him to reach stage 4. Zhao Fu thought about it, and thought about how he had controlled the abnormal signs in the spirit domain. He wondered if he would be able to control abnormal signs this time. Last time, they had acted against the heavens and had been punished by the heavens. This time, they just rushed over, so it would be quite difficult for them to use heaven and earth power. Moreover, this was the chaotic world, so there would be some restrictions on what Zhao Fu could do. After giving it a simple try, Zhao Fu found that it was not possible. This abnormal sign was controlled by the chaotic world's heaven and earth power, so he could not forcibly control it. If he used the spirit race's Emperor Star's laws, it would be possible, but Zhao Fu was going against the will of the heavens and would be punished by the heavens. Right now, he could only speed up his body's transformation. Zhao Fu's body gave off an intense blood-red light, and his transformation sped up. Chapter 2702. Book 1, Chapter 147. End of Book 1. Time passed bit by bit, and Blood Azure Tree and the other higher being experts arrived first. Their gazes fell on a piece of flat land. Now that the abnormal sign had disappeared, they did not see anyone. There was a terrifying aura lingering on that piece of flat land. That person should have caused the abnormal sign there. Shui Qianyu and the others did not see anyone and were about to leave in disappointment. They really wanted to know who had caused such a huge abnormal sign. At this moment, the people from the various alliance cities arrived. Shui Qianyu and the others did not pay much attention, but the people from the alliance cities stopped them and told them about this. Shui Qianyu looked quite confused. Even though he knew about the first evil immortal, he had never thought that the first evil immortal's inheritor would appear so close to them. Moreover, they had never thought that Zhao Fu was the first evil immortal's inheritor. The news of the first evil immortal's inheritor appearing here quickly spread, and the various factions were all very shocked. They guessed what kind of person that inheritor was, and whether they had seen him before. Zhao Fu and the others quickly left that area without stopping, and they only stopped to rest after they were far away from that area. Ziyu panted as she said with some lingering fear, "It was so scary. So many experts swarmed over." Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "You guys find a place to stay first. I still need to refine other essence blood to raise the first evil immortal's bloodline to stage 5. I often encounter these kinds of things, so I'm not too worried. You guys can also go to the Blood Elder sect, and I'll come and find you after everything is over." Ziyu lightly harumphed. "I don't want to be separated from you." Erisina said, "However, we should stay away from Zhao Fu in the future. With Zhao Fu's abilities, he can easily escape, and we will only implicate him." The women nodded. Following this, the women left and came to a nearby city, while Zhao Fu stayed behind to refine 100,000 essence blood to raise the first evil immortal's bloodline to stage 5. A few hours later, Zhao Fu once again found Erisina and the other women. The women all looked confused, and Erisina asked, "Didn't you want to refine essence blood? How'd you do it so quickly?" Furthermore, there were no anomalies. Zhao Fu had an awkward look on his face as he explained, "Raising one's bloodline isn't as simple as I thought. Previously, because of my powerful bloodline, I was able to raise it from the first stage to the 4th stage without any obstructions. but I can't raise it to the 5th stage because I haven't fully comprehended the power of the 4th stage, so I can't refine essence blood to raise it to the 5th stage. Aracena said with a smile. So what do we do next? Zhao Fu thought for a moment. I want to control the power of the 4th stage first. Otherwise, collecting fresh blood will be useless. Firstly, the evil immortal bloodline had been upgraded to the 4th stage, and Zhao Fu had gained a new ability. This ability was known as the evil immortal domain. It was an illusory world that was created using the power of the evil immortal. This domain was almost the same as a real world. As for what it looked like, it would have to be created by the user himself. It could create a beautiful world, or it could create a bloody and twisted world. The evil immortal domain could also fuse with the real world, allowing it to control heaven and earth and unleash a power that could alarm gods and ghosts. Zhao Fu wanted to control the evil immortal domain, which was why he could raise it to the 5th stage. Aracena said, "Shall we find a place to wait for you to comprehend it?" Zhao Fu smiled and said, "No need. This domain is not something that can be comprehended immediately. It will take time." Aracena continued to ask, "Then where are we going? Or are we going to casually walk around and ask around about the bronze shards?" Speaking of the bronze shards, Zhao Fu felt that it was a pity. The Bloodlong sect was such a big faction, but Zhao Fu had not been able to find the bronze shards. Otherwise, with Zhao Fu's status as the sect master of the Bloodlong sect, he would have been able to obtain the bronze shards. Now, Zhao Fu had obtained 5 bronze shards, which were very important to Zhao Fu. Not only could they allow him to obtain primal chaos source energy, but they were also one of the keys for Zhao Fu to awaken the primal chaos emperor star. Who knew how many pieces the bronze mirror had broken into? After thinking about it, Zhao Fu really wanted to go back to that place because there were 5 bronze shards in that place. Maybe there were more? Zhao Fu thought about it again. The Yao Ming Merchant Group shard was obtained in a historical site, and the 3 shards of the blood-flying fish were also obtained from a historical site. It was not because of that place. Moreover, Zhao Fu had already carefully searched that area, but he did not find any bronze shards. Therefore, Zhao Fu decided not to go back. That place was also very dangerous. Even if there were no almighty experts guarding there would still be many spies. Zhao Fu said, "Since there is no way to improve my bloodline now, I will focus on finding the bronze shards." The group continued forward and found a level 8 Alliance city. This level 8 Alliance city was a higher level Alliance city. The managers here were all Emptiness Realm experts, so they could obtain more information here. Now, many people were collecting information about the bronze shards. If Zhao Fu asked around, it would not arouse suspicion. In the end, there was a lot of information about the bronze shards. However, it was difficult to determine whether the information was true or false. Some people claimed that they had bronze shards and could guarantee it with their lives. However, they could not be sure if the bronze shards were the shards that Zhao Fu needed. The matter of Zhao Fu collecting the bronze shards had completely muddled the waters. If the news had not been leaked, it was possible to collect some information about the bronze shards. Suddenly, an idea flashed in Zhao Fu's mind. Since there was no way to obtain useful information, it was better to find out the origin of the bronze mirror and how it had broken. Maybe he could find the whereabouts of the other bronze shards. However, Zhao Fu collected information about the ancient origin clan, but he still did not find anything. There were 3 possibilities. First, the bronze mirror had existed for too long, so there was no way to obtain useful information. Second, the bronze mirror belonged to a certain origin clan. That origin clan's identity was secretive, so there was no information about the bronze mirror. Third, the power of a level 8 Alliance city was limited, so it could not obtain more secretive information. No matter which possibility it was, the result would be disadvantageous to Zhao Fu. Since there was nowhere else to go, Zhao Fu asked the flying bloodfish, "Where did you obtain the shards in the past?" The flying bloodfish understood Zhao Fu's meaning and said, "That place no longer exists, and it is very far away. Do you still want to go and take a look?" Zhao Fu nodded and said, "Yes." I have nowhere else to go, so I can comprehend the evil immortal's domain as I walk." Following this, the group continued on their journey towards the center of the chaotic world. Chapter 2703. Book 1. Chapter 148, translated by Hypersheep 325, edited by Mike. Here a few days later, Zhao Fu and the others stopped in a city. This was the center of the primal chaos world, and experts could be seen everywhere. The buildings were luxurious, and the streets were bustling with people. Blood-flying fish once ran into a familiar person. It was an old man with a very long beard and wearing long robes. He gave off a sage-like air. This old man was called Feng Su, and he had reached the emptiness realm. He was the son of blood-flying fish's friend. He was surprised to see blood-flying fish because he had heard that blood-flying fish had died. He had never thought that he would meet blood-flying fish again. Blood-flying fish was surprised as well. She remembered that this old man had been a youth back then, but he had now become an old man. The two of them chatted for a while and got to know each other. Blood-flying fish found out that her friend had died, and she sighed inwardly. However, she also learned some useful information about the bronze shard. Feng Su's father, who was blood-flying fish's friend, had once obtained a bronze shard. The bronze shard was abnormally tough, and her father felt that it was extraordinary, so he kept it. Now, the shard was not in Feng Su's hands. Her father had been killed by an ancient demonic dragon, and his belongings had been obtained by that ancient demonic dragon. That ancient demonic dragon was an evil dragon that liked to plunder and kill, and it had collected countless treasures. In the past, that ancient demonic dragon had been a powerful existence. Now that so much time had passed, its strength had become even more terrifying, and it might have even reached the half-immortal realm. After hearing this, Zhao Fu felt troubled. That demonic dragon was not a good dragon, and if he went, he might be eaten. It was impossible for him to obtain the bronze shard. However, things were different from what Zhao Fu had expected. That dragon had done too much evil, and in the end, it had angered an even more powerful existence. As a result, it had been sealed in a place for many years. In other words, Zhao Fu still had a chance to obtain the bronze shard. Zhao Fu asked excitedly about the location of the sealed place. Feng Su replied, "That place is extremely dangerous. Even with my strength, I cannot enter it. Are you sure you want to go?" Zhao Fu nodded seriously. Feng Su said, "All right, I will tell you where the sealed place is and how to enter." That sealed area was located in a huge basin in the east. Because the primordial demon dragon had collected countless treasures, there were many people who wanted to go there to search for treasures. However, there was also a powerful barrier protecting that place. If one wanted to enter that place, they would have to wait for the full moon. The full moon was the time when the 12 moons were the brightest in the night. At that time, a gap would appear in the barrier, and one could enter the barrier. Zhao Fu's group immediately left this place and headed towards the sealed area. Zhao demonic techniques. Chun and Zhao 1 2 1 and 1 and Fu 1 1 and 1 1 1 3 Zhao 2 mo and Su dem 1 Fu 4 10 Hao Chun 2 Hao and Hao and then Chun Hao 1 Feng and then Hao 2 2 Feng 10 1 and 1. After a day, Zhao Fu arrived at the sealed area. This time, Zhao Fu came here alone because this place was very dangerous and he could not bring so many people with him. Arriving here, Zhao Fu felt a little strange. Didn't they say that many people came here to search for treasures? Why were there only 2 or 3 people standing here waiting for Hao Yue? Those people did not look like ordinary people. They all had dragon horns on their heads, and the auras they gave off were even more powerful than ordinary Emperor Heaven Realm experts. One of them, a tall man, smiled and said, "Sir, you're here to look for treasures, right?" Zhao Fu nodded. The man smiled and said, "Then why don't we team up and enter together? With a member of the desolate ancient dragon race around, it should be much more convenient for you." Primordial dragon race? Zhao Fu had never heard of this name before, but that demon dragon was called the desolate ancient demon dragon. They were also called the desolate ancient dragon race, which should be related to the desolate ancient demon dragon. A cold-looking man beside him said unhappily, "Big bro, why do you want to join him?" The tall man smiled as he said, "He's actually a member of the dragon race, but he's not from the desolate ancient dragon race. Moreover, I feel that he's not weak and will be of some help to us." Hearing the man's words, the others looked quite surprised. They had never thought that Zhao Fu would also be from the dragon race. Since he was from the dragon race, he was on their side, so no one had any objections. Zhao Fu thought about it and felt that these people had come prepared, so he also joined them. The tall man smiled and introduced himself to Zhao Fu. He was called Long Hao. The cold-looking young man was called Long Jiang. A valiant-looking young man was called Long Xiao, and an ordinary-looking young man was called Long Ying. Zhao Fu told them that he was called Blood Demon. After a simple conversation, Long Hao felt quite curious as to what sort of dragon Zhao Fu was. There were all sorts of dragons in the outer world, such as wood dragons, fire dragons, wyverns, and the most powerful dragon race was the desolate ancient dragon race, which had existed since the outer world had been born. Zhao Fu did not know what sort of dragon he was, because he was from the human race. However, he could turn into a dragon and had the sovereign power of the heaven-awakened world's dragon race. Was he not sure if the sovereign power of the heaven-awakened world's dragon race was stronger, or was the desolate ancient dragon race's power stronger? In response to Long Hao's question, Zhao Fu thought about it and said, "I belong to the sovereign dragon race." Long Jiang could not help but laugh. "Sovereign dragon race? Doesn't that mean you're stronger than the desolate ancient dragon race?" Long Xiao laughed as he said, Even the desolate ancient dragon race, the most powerful dragon race in the outer world, is not called the sovereign dragon race. Yet your race dares to call itself the sovereign dragon race." Long Hao smiled as he said in confusion, "Apologies. I've never heard of your race." Zhao Fu was not wrong. If Zhao Fu belonged to what sort of dragon, it would be the sovereign dragon race. He had the sovereign power of the dragon race and the devil race's supreme emperor star. Facing these people's mockery, Zhao Fu did not feel angry and replied softly, "It's just a small dragon race. It's just that its name is a bit exaggerated." Long Hao smiled and did not say anything else. What he cared about was Zhao Fu's own strength, and he did not care much about the sovereign dragon race. Perhaps it was just as Zhao Fu had said. It was just a way of calling itself the sovereign dragon race. Everyone started to look down on Zhao Fu and did not place much importance on Zhao Fu. They felt that Zhao Fu did not have the right to compare to their most powerful race, the desolate ancient dragon race. Everyone waited outside the barrier until late at night. The 12 moons gave off bright moonlight, and 12 moon marks appeared in the air in front of them. The 12 marks slowly merged together, forming a 3-meter wide hole of light. Chapter 2704. Book 1. Chapter 149. After walking in, they saw that they had arrived in a black world. The sky was filled with demonic chi, and the ground, trees, grass, and rocks were all black. It was deathly silent, and it was quite terrifying. A black aura flowed towards them, bringing with it a powerful dragon's might. Long Hao explained, "This is the dragon chi of the ancient demon dragon race. The dragon chi of the ancient demon dragon race is extremely domineering and ferocious. If an ordinary person comes in, their body will be corroded by the dragon chi and become a dragon-shaped monster. However, to the dragon race, this is a good place to cultivate. You can absorb some of the dragon chi to increase your power." Zhao Fu lightly nodded and listened to Long Hao's words as he started to absorb the black dragon chi. Long Jiang and the others' gazes turned from condescension to condescension. They did not want to absorb this weak dragon chi, but this person quickly absorbed it. Zhao Fu was quite interested in the primordial dragon race, so he wanted to absorb some dragon chi. He wanted to understand what kind of dragon race the primordial dragon race was and how it was different from the heaven-awakened world sovereign dragon race. In the end, he found that this dragon chi was hundreds of times weaker than the dragon race's supreme power that Zhao Fu controlled. Zhao Fu thought that this was most likely just a high-grade ancient demon dragon race's supreme dragon power, and not the supreme ancient demon dragon race's legatee. Roar! 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 Dragon's roars sounded out as 10 or so monsters rushed out. These monsters had human bodies and were covered with jet-black scales. Their heads looked like dragons, and these were the monsters that Long Hao had said had been corroded by the dragon Qi. They were very powerful and were all at the Emperor Heaven Realm. Long Hao and the others did not feel any fear at all. Their hands turned into dragon claws and gave off immense power as they rushed at the group of dragon-shaped monsters. Boom! Long Hao rushed in front of the monsters and gave off a dragon's might that belonged to the desolate ancient dragon race. This dragon's might gave off a desolate, ancient, and powerful aura, causing the monsters to reveal looks of fear and start to panic. Bang! Long Hao slashed out with his claws, sending out 5 white claw marks that easily sent a monster flying. 5 gashes appeared on the monster's chest, from which blood continuously flowed out. The white dragon Qi continued to corrode the wounds, causing more and more blood to flow out. The ancient demon dragon race's dragon Qi was indeed domineering and powerful. Long Zhong's hand shot out like a bolt of lightning, piercing through a weaker monster's chest and taking out a fresh heart. Long Zhong's hand shot out like a bolt of lightning, piercing through the chest of a weaker monster and taking out a fresh heart. Long Hao said, Big Brother Long 7 Dragon, Zhao and Tenemo Dragon Formation, and in Long 5 Dynasty Emperor, and in 1 7 3 Spirit and World, and in 1 and in 2 Mo, and in Mo, and in 2 2 Spirit Chun, and in 1 and Chun and Hawaii, and hearing Long Zhong's words, Zhao Fu said apologetically, You were too strong just then, and I didn't have a chance to act. Next time, I'll act as soon as possible. Long Xiao was quite satisfied with this flattery, and he smiled as he said, You were lucky to have met us. Next time, we'll leave the weaker monsters to you. We won't be bothered to act. Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Long Hao did not say anything and said, Let's dig out their hearts. Long Jiang and the others took out the hearts from the monsters' corpses, and Zhao Fu asked curiously, What are these hearts for? Long Hao replied, These hearts have been corroded by dragon energy, and even though they can't compare to real dragon hearts, eating them is still quite useful, and it can increase our constitution and power. Long Jiang said, You didn't act just then, so don't even think about getting a single one of these. Zhao Fu did not mind and nodded. After walking for a while, they encountered another group of dragon-shaped monsters. This time, Zhao Fu took out a sword and prepared to rush over. Long Hao said in surprise, As a member of the dragon race, why don't you use your body to fight? Zhao Fu felt quite startled. The dragon race's bodies were abnormally strong, and ordinary members of the dragon race like to fight with their bodies. However, Zhao Fu was not used to it, and he did not want to reveal his strength. So he said, My body is not strong, so I need to rely on weapons. Long Jiang laughed. As a member of the dragon race, his body was so weak that he did not dare to fight with his body. Long Hao felt quite speechless and once again wondered if he had misjudged Zhao Fu. In actuality, Zhao Fu's body was also extremely strong, and even without the dragon race's bloodline, he could crush everything with his source bloodline. They did not say anything else and started a fight with the monsters. Zhao Fu rushed in front of a monster and vigorously swung his sword. The sword slashed against the monster's scales, and he felt that the scales were abnormally tough. They were even tougher than the scales of ordinary dragons. The desolate ancient dragon race was indeed proud of their abilities. These monsters had only been corroded by the desolate ancient dragon Qi and were not from the true desolate ancient dragon race. If they were from the true desolate ancient dragon race, their scales would be even tougher. The monster roared in pain and swiped at Zhao Fu with its sharp claws. Zhao Fu dodged to the side and wanted to stab through its heart, but he remembered that the heart was still useful. As such, he slashed out, and an arc of light sliced open the monster's throat, causing blood to fly everywhere. However, the monster's life force was abnormally strong, and its wound quickly healed. Its sharp claws continued to swipe at Zhao Fu, and Zhao Fu dodged to the side before rushing forwards and stabbing through the monster's chest with his sword. This time, Zhao Fu used some of his strength and pierced a large hole in the monster's chest. Only the monster had died like that. Seeing that Zhao Fu had only killed one monster after so long, the people from Longjiang Bay City felt even more disdainful. They did not continue to pay attention to Zhao Fu and focused on killing the other monsters. Zhao Fu also attacked another monster. 10 or so minutes later, the group finished dealing with the monsters. Zhao Fu had killed 2 monsters, while Longjiang and the others had killed around 20. The group dug out the monster's heart. Zhao Fu looked at the warm, beating heart in his hand and took a bite. It was quite chewy, and as soon as it entered his body, it turned into a wave of energy that spread throughout his body, strengthening his body. This was not very effective for Zhao Fu, as Zhao Fu's origin constitution was too powerful. If he gave this to someone else, it would be quite effective, so Zhao Fu smiled and put it away. The people from Longjiang Bay City could not be bothered to talk to Zhao Fu. It was a waste of time, so they did not say anything else. Longjiang Bay City felt a bit awkward. He had not expected Zhao Fu to be so weak. He had hoped that Zhao Fu would be able to help, but because of his pride, he could not just tell Zhao Fu to leave. As such, he could only endure it. He could only hope that Zhao Fu would be tactful and not cause any trouble, and that he would leave on his own. Chapter 2705. Book 1, Chapter 150 translated by Hypersheep 325 edited by Mike here. After all, anyone could enter the sealed region, and the treasures in the outer regions had long since been taken by others. After coming to the central region of the sealed region, they found that it was much more dangerous than the outer regions. Zhao Fu had planned to look around to see if there were any treasures, but what made Zhao Fu feel strange was that Long Hao and the others had been wanting to go deeper into the sealed region. They most likely had other goals for coming here. Zhao Fu asked, "There should be some treasures here. Why don't you continue exploring?" Long Jiang coldly harumphed, "If you want to explore, go by yourself. We have important things to do." Zhao Fu asked, "What is it?" Long Ying stopped Long Jiang and said, "It's best not to tell anyone about this." Long Jiang coldly nodded and did not say anything else. Long Hao smiled as he said, "It'll be quite dangerous from here on out. You can stay here and see if you can obtain some treasures." Zhao Fu shook his head. "No need. I also want to go deeper and have a look. There should be many treasures there." Long Jiang coldly said, "Up to you. However, if something happens to you, I won't save you." Zhao Fu nodded. SSSS. A loud hiss rang out as a massive dragon snake appeared in front of them. This dragon snake had a snake-like body and was covered in black scales. Its head was somewhat similar to that of a dragon and a snake, and it had a sharp horn on its head. The dragon snake gave off a ferocious aura as it rushed towards them, knocking down all the trees and rocks in its path. The sound it made was incredibly loud, making everyone feel quite afraid. Long Hao called out, "This dragon snake is very powerful. Everyone be careful." Long Hao and the others gave off powerful auras, and not only did their hand become dragon claws, but their bodies also grew many scales as they rushed towards the massive dragon snake. Zhao Fu stood there, not wanting to act. The dragon snake opened its massive mouth and bit towards Long Hao and the others. Long Hao gathered a massive amount of power in his fist, which gave off an intense white light as he punched out, and a white fist mark containing shocking power flew towards the dragon snake. Bang! A muffled sound rang out as the white fist imprint struck the dragon snake's head. The dragon snake's huge head was deflected and did not bite Long Hao and the others. Long Jiang and the other two flew to different parts of dragon snake body and attacked it. Hiss! The dragon serpent let out a loud hiss in pain. Its tail swept to the side with a terrifying force, and the trees on the ground were instantly swept away. The three from the Longjiang Bay City quickly dodged the attack. The dragon serpent looked at Long Hao savagely and opened its massive mouth. Countless rays of black light shot out, and a massive black beam of light shot out with shocking power towards Long Hao. Long Hao did not plan on dodging and turned into a white dragon. He opened his mouth and spat out a white beam of light, which contained immense power as it shot towards the dragon snake. Bang! The two beams of light collided together, resulting in a loud explosion. The two beams of light collided in midair, causing light to radiate out and terrifying shockwaves spread out. Century War. Long Hao let out a dragon roar as the beam of light shot out from his mouth became even more intense. It continued to fiercely shoot towards the dragon snake. The black beam of light that the dragon snake shot out in the air was gradually losing. Bang! The beam of light from Long Hao's mouth hit the dragon snake's body, and the dragon snake was sent flying. It fell to the ground, causing the ground to violently tremble and sand and stones to fly everywhere. The dragon snake was also quite injured and blood continuously flowed out from its head. The intense pain caused it to go mad, and it raised its head to the sky and let out a loud hiss. A black barrier instantly spread out, covering the surrounding 100 kilometers. Countless traces of black gas rose up from the ground, forming small black snakes that flooded towards the group. Zhao Fu looked quite surprised. He had never thought that the dragon snake could control a 10,000 snake domain. Within the domain that it had created, it could create countless snakes. Zhao Fu had been comprehending the evil immortal domain this entire time, and had created a small evil immortal domain. It was only the size of a fist and was blood red in color. It was filled with blood chi and did not have anything. It was just the most basic domain. Seeing the dragon snake unleash his domain, Zhao Fu wondered if he could devour the 10,000 snake domain to strengthen his evil immortal domain. That way, it would be easier for Zhao Fu to control the evil immortal domain. Long Jiang and the other two waved their sharp claws, creating countless claw marks that shattered the countless small snakes that surged over. Roar! Long Hao let out a loud dragon roar as his body emitted countless intense white lights. The white light shone on the countless small snakes, causing their bodies to collapse and turn into countless black chi that dissipated. The dragon snake's body suddenly shot out and bit towards Long Hao's throat like lightning. Long Hao turned his head and bit down fiercely. He was even faster than the dragon snake and bit the dragon snake's throat first. The dragon snake cried out in pain and twisted its body, wanting to wrap around Long Hao's body. Long Hao bit the dragon snake's throat and forcefully swung it, sending the dragon snake's body flying and tearing off a large piece of flesh. Blood gushed out from the wound like a fountain, and the dragon snake crawled up from the ground, wanting to attack Long Hao crazily. At that moment, a person suddenly appeared above his head. The dragon snake did not care and rammed its head forward, wanting to send that person flying. It also continued to rush towards Long Hao. It understood that Long Hao was its greatest opponent. Zhao Fu looked at the dragon snake that was rushing over and smiled. He raised a hand and hit the dragon snake's huge head. Boom! A loud explosion sounded out, and the dragon snake's raised head was smashed into the ground, creating a large crater. Blood flowed out of the dragon snake's mouth and eyes, and it could not resist at all. This attack had beaten the dragon snake to a half-dead state. Long Hao and the others were astonished. They did not expect Zhao Fu to suddenly explode with such a powerful battle power. Zhao Fu stood on the dragon snake's head. The dragon snake looked at Zhao Fu with fear in its eyes. This was the first time it had met such a terrifying expert, and it could feel the aura of death. Zhao Fu pressed a hand on the dragon snake's head, and countless traces of blood-red aura flowed into the dragon snake's head. The dragon snake felt immense pain and felt countless spikes stabbing into its head. A black bubble-like thing was pulled out by Zhao Fu, and it gave off a faint black light. It did not look corporeal and was like an illusion. This was the dragon snake's 10,000 snake domain. Zhao Fu fused the 10,000 snake domain into his body, and a trace of a smile appeared on his face. The dragon snake died because the domain was pulled out. Long Hao turned into his human form and came in front of Zhao Fu and smiled as he said, "Friend, so you're so strong." "I almost couldn't tell," Long Jiang said with a trace of displeasure. "Our big brother heavily injured the dragon snake, but you suddenly attacked and killed it. What did you pull out of the dragon snake's head?" Chapter 2706. Book 1. Chapter 151 translated by Hypersheep 325 edited by Mike. Here Zhao Fu apologetically smiled as he said, "I'm sorry, I only extracted a portion of the dragon snake's spiritual power. I don't want the rest of the materials." Long Jiang said, "You're quite tactful." Long Hao smiled as he said, "You killed this dragon snake, so you should be the one to deal with it." This dragon snake was of the same level as them, and the materials on its body were of great use to them. Long Jiang called out unhappily, "Big brother." Long Hao glanced at Long Jiang and said in a serious tone, "Leave this to me. Also, be more polite to this friend in the future." Long Hao was sure that his intuition was right. Right now, his main goal was to befriend Zhao Fu. He did not care about this dragon snake, and he needed Zhao Fu's help to enter the depths of the seal. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "This dragon snake is not of much use to me, so I'll leave it to you." Seeing that Zhao Fu was determined, Long Hao smiled embarrassedly, and they started to cut up the dragon snake's corpse. The most valuable part of the dragon snake was the dragon snake pearl, which contained most of the dragon snake's power. Devouring it would allow one to obtain a portion of the dragon snake's power, and it could also quickly increase one's power. As they dealt with the dragon snake's corpse, Zhao Fu stood there and started to have the evil immortal domain devour the 10,000 snake domain. The blood-red bubble within Zhao Fu's body slowly moved towards the black bubble, causing the black bubble to instinctively tremble in fear as it floated backwards. The blood-red bubble gave off a suction force and sucked the black bubble over, causing it to be slowly sucked over before fusing into the blood-red bubble. After the black bubble fused into the blood-red bubble, it shattered and turned into countless traces of black aura that condensed into a small black snake. The small snake seemed to have a life of its own, twisting about within the blood-red bubble. The evil immortal domain's devouring power was extremely powerful, and its devouring domain was also very simple. Long Hao and the others had already cut up the dragon snake's corpse, and Zhao Fu had devoured the 10,000 snake domain as they continued onwards. As they continued onwards, the dragon chi became denser and denser, and the dragon chi's corrosion became stronger and stronger. Even the desolate ancient dragon race was injured. Long Hao and Zhao Fu were not affected, but Long Jiang and the others were. They used their own dragon power to resist the corrosion of the dragon power. Everyone came to a small mountain, and there was a two-headed dragon person lying in front of them. This dragon person was 3 meters tall and had 2 dragon heads, one with black scales and the other with a dragon tail. It gave off an incredibly powerful aura, and it was much more powerful than the dragon snake they had encountered before. A 1-meter-tall tree grew beside him. The tree's trunk was purplish-red, and its leaves were also purplish-red. A blood-red fruit the size of a lychee grew at the top. Long Hao said, "That fruit is called the dragon shed fruit. Eating such a fruit can cause the body to undergo a huge change. It is an extremely precious treasure, and is especially attractive to our dragon race. However, that two-headed draconian might be even stronger than me, so it will be very difficult to obtain such a fruit." Long Xiao said, "Brother, let's give it a try. Let's go if we can't." Long Hao nodded. "I'll attract the twin-headed draconians. You guys are responsible for stealing that fruit." Everyone nodded seriously. Long Hao became a draconian, and his body was covered with white scales. His hands and feet had become dragon claws, and he also had a white dragon tail. He gave off a powerful dragon's might as he quickly rushed at the two-headed draconian. The two-headed draconian, who had been sleeping, suddenly opened its eyes. Seeing Long Hao rush at it, it gave a furious roar and rushed at Long Hao. The two of them were soon only 3 meters apart. Long Hao sent a powerful wave of power into his dragon claw, causing it to give off an intense white light as he vigorously slapped at the two-headed draconian. The two-headed draconian also sent a wave of power into its dragon claw, causing it to give off an intense black light and ferociously clawed at Long Hao. Bang! A massive explosion sounded out as the two dragon claws collided, causing a wave of light to spread out and the ground to crack. The two-headed draconian took 2 steps back, while Long Hao took 5 steps back. The two-headed draconian was slightly stronger than Long Hao. Long Hao loudly roared and gave off a powerful aura as he rushed at the two-headed draconian. The two-headed draconian's expression was savage as he also rushed at Long Hao. The two of them started to fight intensely, and powerful shockwaves spread out, causing many trees to sway. Long Jiang and the others stealthily headed towards the dragon transformation fruit. Their goal was not to kill the two-headed draconian, but to obtain the dragon transformation fruit. Zhao Fu stood there and did not move. He was not very interested in the dragon transformation fruit. Long Hao continued to fight with the two-headed draconian, while Long Jiang and the others stealthily came near the dragon transformation fruit. Just as they were about to pick the dragon transformation fruit, the two-headed draconian sensed them and instantly disappeared before reappearing in front of them. The two-headed draconian vigorously slashed out, leaving behind 5 massive claw marks that seemed to be able to shatter space. Long Jiang and the others hurriedly blocked, but they were still sent flying by the claw. The two-headed draconian wanted to continue to attack and kill Long Jiang and the others, but Long Hao appeared behind him and sent the two-headed draconian flying with a sneak attack. Long Hao immediately told Long Jiang and the others to leave. Long Jiang and the others understood that they could not help, so they hurriedly left the battlefield. The two-headed draconian crawled up from the ground with a furious look on his face. He strode forwards, shattering the ground with each step as he gave off a ferocious aura and rushed towards Long Hao. Long Hao's body gave off a white light as he also rushed towards the two-headed draconian. The two-headed draconian punched towards Long Hao, and Long Hao took this punch head-on and grabbed an opportunity to kick the two-headed draconian's abdomen. The two-headed draconian punched Long Hao's chest, and Long Hao also punched the two-headed draconian's abdomen. Bang! Bang! The two of them continuously punched each other, causing loud sounds to ring out and strong gales to blow out. It looked quite shocking, and the two of them were both slightly injured. This was a battle of physical strength, and Zhao Fu felt quite interested. It was rare for him to see such a direct battle. Long Jiang and the others looked quite worried because it seemed that Long Hao's injuries were more serious. They prepared to help Long Hao at any moment. Bang! A massive sound rang out as their fists landed on each other's chests, and the terrifying power sent both of them flying back. Long Hao crashed to the ground and coughed up a large mouthful of blood. A trace of blood leaked out of the two-headed draconian's mouth, and he quickly stood up. It was evident that the two-headed draconian had won. Looking at Long Hao on the ground, the two-headed draconian gave a savage smile and walked over. Long Jiang and the others hurriedly rushed out and blocked in front of Long Hao. Many scales appeared on their bodies, and they turned into 3 draconian people, giving off powerful auras. Long Hao got up from the ground and looked at the two-headed draconian seriously. He did not have much confidence in this battle. Chapter 2707. Book 1. Chapter 152, translated by Hypersheep 325, edited by Mike. Here, facing the 4 dragon people, the twin-headed dragon person did not feel any fear and rushed forwards. Long Hao immediately called out, "Spread out and activate the 4-sided dragon formation." Long Jiang and the other 2 ran to the sides, and the 4 of them surrounded the twin-headed dragon person from different directions. The twin-headed dragon person sensed danger and stopped. Long Hao and the other 3 raised a hand, and a massive power spread out as a dragon pearl appeared above their palm. The 4 dragon pearls gave off a white light that resonated with each other, and an enormous white square-shaped barrier of light appeared, covering the twin-headed dragon person. The white barrier of light brought with it immense gravity, and the twin-headed dragon person's body sank. Long Hao and the other three controlled the white barrier of light to continuously shrink, and as the white barrier of light shrank, the white barrier of light became stronger and stronger. The twin-headed dragon person had to bear even greater gravity and vigorously struggled within. The white barrier of light continuously shrank, and the four of them looked quite nervous as they looked at the struggling twin-headed dragon person. Roar! The twin-headed dragon person furiously roared, and its two heads faced the sky. Boundless power gathered, and two terrifying black beams of light shot out from its mouth, shooting towards the top of the square-shaped barrier of light. Following this, the black light spread out and filled the square-shaped barrier of light. The four of them's expressions fell, and they felt that the situation was not good. Bang! A massive explosion sounded out as the barrier of light exploded, and countless rays of light spread out as an explosive power spread out. A large crater was smashed into the ground, and at the center stood the injured twin-headed dragon person. There were many wounds on its body, and it looked quite injured. Long Hao and the other three were lying in four directions, and blood flowed out of their mouths. The twin-headed dragon person furiously walked towards Long Hao. Long Hao stood up from the ground and attacked first. He rushed in front of the twin-headed dragon person and vigorously slammed his claw towards the twin-headed dragon person's head. The twin-headed dragon person stretched out a hand to block Long Hao's attack, while the other claw ferociously slashed towards Long Hao's abdomen. Long Hao dodged to the side, avoiding this attack. The twin-headed dragon person leaned forward and wanted to continue attacking Long Hao, but at that moment, the dragon eagle appeared on its body and clawed at the twin-headed dragon person's shoulder, creating 5 bloody holes. The twin-headed dragon person cried out in pain and swung its tail to send the dragon hawk flying. Long Jiang grasped this opportunity and attacked from the side, ferociously kicking the twin-headed dragon person's waist. The twin-headed dragon person actually resisted this attack and grabbed on a Long Jiang's leg. Long Hao's face changed, and he hurriedly rushed over. The two-headed draconian grabbed Long Jiang's leg and threw him towards Long Hao. Long Hao hugged Long Jiang's body and fell to the ground to withstand the impact. The dragon howl came from behind again. The twin-headed dragon man turned around and punched the dragon howl away. The two-headed draconian swept a ferocious glance at the 4 people lying on the ground. At this moment, Long Hao's face turned a little ugly. Even if the twin-headed dragon man was injured, he would not have much of an advantage. The twin-headed dragon person's gaze landed on Long Hao. Just as he was about to walk towards Long Hao, his expression immediately turned solemn. Long Hao also looked behind him strangely, only to see a cloaked person slowly walking out. Roar! The twin-headed dragon being felt fearful and let out a loud roar, warning that person not to come close. Long Hao's group of 4 was shocked. The twin-headed dragon person's attitude towards them was completely different from how it treated Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu did not care about the twin-headed dragon person's attack at all and continued to walk towards the twin-headed dragon person. The twin-headed dragon person was infuriated. With a powerful aura, he rushed in front of Zhao Fu and punched towards Zhao Fu with a ferocious fist that seemed to be able to destroy everything. Boom! A loud sound rang out, and a ferocious gust of wind blew out. Zhao Fu simply stretched out a hand and easily caught that fist. The twin-headed dragon person looked at how easily Zhao Fu had blocked his full-powered attack, and he had a look of astonishment on his face. At this moment, Zhao Fu grabbed the twin-headed dragon person's fist and pulled back, causing the twin-headed dragon person's body to fall forward. Zhao Fu kicked out with one leg, striking the twin-headed dragon person's abdomen. Boom! A muffled sound rang out as the twin-headed dragon person's body flew backwards, knocking down a few large trees before stopping and coughing up a large mouthful of blood. The 4 of them looked shocked. The power that Zhao Fu had displayed was clearly stronger than Long Hao's. The twin-headed dragon person savagely crawled up from the ground and opened its mouth. Two terrifying waves of power surged out and condensed between its two heads, forming an egg-sized black orb of light that gave off a destructive aura. Swish! The twin-headed dragon person raised its head, and the black orb of light quickly shot toward Zhao Fu. It was so fast that it could not be seen by the naked eye. In that instant, the orb of light appeared in front of Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and a massive wave of power surged out, wrapping around the black orb of light. He then raised his arm and flung the black orb of light into the sky. Bang! A massive explosion rang out, and countless rays of black light shot out in the sky, seeming to cover the entire sky. The twin-headed dragon person looked quite startled before turning to run. He understood that he was definitely not a match for Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu lightly laughed. "You still want to run?" Zhao Fu's body disappeared and appeared in front of the twin-headed dragon person. The twin-headed dragon person revealed a terrified expression, and before he could react, Zhao Fu punched his chest. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as a massive force passed through the twin-headed dragon person's body, shattering all of his internal organs. The force then passed through the twin-headed dragon person's body and turned into a gust of wind that blew out. The twin-headed dragon person's body powerlessly fell to the ground, making Zhao Fu feel quite surprised that the twin-headed dragon person was still alive. The dragon race's bodies were quite powerful, and ordinary people would have died by now. Zhao Fu raised his leg, planning to give the twin-headed dragon person a final blow. The twin-headed dragon person said fearfully, "Don't kill me. I'm willing to submit to you." Zhao Fu thought about it and nodded. Normally, as long as anyone surrendered, Zhao Fu would let them off and would not kill them, unless there were some special circumstances. Long Hao and the others walked over. Long Zhang's expression was quite unsightly. Only now did he know how terrifying Zhao Fu's strength was. If Zhao Fu wanted to kill him, it would be an incredibly easy matter. The other two's expressions were also quite unsightly. They had both looked down on Zhao Fu. Long Hao smiled as he said, "Friend, your strength is so great that we can't help but admire you." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded as he said, "It's just so." Long Hao said to Long Jiang, second brother, "Immediately bring the dragon transformation fruit and give it to this friend, as well as properly apologize to him." Long Jiang nodded and did not have any objections. Zhao Fu did not mind as he said, "No need, just take the dragon transformation fruit. There's no need to apologize." Long Jiang inwardly sighed and bowed to Zhao Fu. "I was disrespectful to you, so I apologize. Thank you for not taking it to heart." Chapter 2708. Book 1, Chapter 153. End of Book 1. Zhao Fu nodded before asking, "Just what is your purpose for coming to this sealed region?" Before, Zhao Fu had been quite curious about Long Hao and the others' purpose, but they had not told Zhao Fu. Long Jiang and the others looked at Long Hao, and Long Hao thought that he might have to rely on Zhao Fu's power in the future. As such, he said, "We were ordered by our young master to look at the seal." Zhao Fu asked in confusion, "Why did your young master send you to look at the seal? Could it be that your young master wants to undo the seal and release this evil dragon?" Long Hao and the others belonged to the primordial dragon race, and this evil dragon also belonged to the primordial dragon race, which was why Zhao Fu had guessed this. Long Hao said apologetically, "We don't know. We were just following orders." Zhao Fu then asked, "Who is your young master?" Long Hao and the others were quite powerful, so their young master would most likely be even more powerful. Perhaps he was a famous genius. Hearing this, Long Hao gave a prideful smile. "Our young master is called Long Huiling, and he is the young master of the primordial dragon race. He is a famous genius in the outer world." Zhao Fu understood and nodded and did not continue to ask. They waited for a while to allow the two-headed dragon person to recover from his injuries. Just then, Zhao Fu had almost killed him, so his injuries were quite severe. Long Hao embarrassedly accepted the dragon transformation fruit, and as for the dragon transformation tree, Zhao Fu also put it into his spatial ring. After waiting for half a day, the two-headed dragon person's injuries had somewhat recovered, but he could not use much of his power. That attack from Zhao Fu had injured him too heavily, and he could not recover in a short period of time. The two-headed dragon person did not have a name, so Zhao Fu casually gave him a name, Long Shuang. The three of them continued onwards and came to the depths of the sealed region. The black dragon chi here was even denser, and some places were filled with black fog. Everyone felt a massive might, causing the weaker Long Jiang and the others to feel immense pressure. Long Hao also used his power to resist the corrosion of the tyrannical dragon power. Zhao Fu was still not affected. Although the dragon chi was very overbearing and powerful and wanted to invade Zhao Fu's body, it could not enter Zhao Fu's body at all. It was blocked by an invisible force. Zhao Fu reminded them, "This is the sealed area. It's very dangerous in the depths. Be careful." Long Hao and the others nodded their heads. Long Hao was glad that he had brought Zhao Fu in. Otherwise, with their strength, it would have been even more dangerous. Everyone walked forward. Several black dragons suddenly rushed out from the side and attacked Zhao Fu. These black dragons were only a few dozen meters long and had 3 claws. Their horns were also single horns, and their bodies were covered with black, steel-like scales. Even though they had been corroded by dragon power, they were not much different from real dragons and were extremely powerful. Long Hao and the other 3 also turned into 4 white dragons and rushed towards the black dragons. The dragons clashed, using their dragon fangs and claws to tear at each other. Long Hao and the other 3 had a greater advantage and were able to suppress the black dragons. Zhao Fu stood there and did not do anything. Long Hao and the other 3 could deal with these black dragons. One of the black dragons looked at Zhao Fu and gave off a powerful aura as it rushed at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu lightly laughed and stretched out a hand. A massive wave of power flowed out and formed an enormous blood-red hand that grabbed the black dragon. The black dragon roared and struggled, but it could not break free from Zhao Fu's hand. Roar! A massive explosion sounded out in the sky as a 1,000-meter-long black dragon appeared in the sky. It looked just like the black dragons and gave off a boundless dragon's might, causing the surroundings to become deathly silent. The black dragon coldly stared at Zhao Fu and said in a hoarse voice, "Let him go." Long Hao and the other 3 returned to their human forms and came to Zhao Fu's side, looking at the black dragon seriously. This black dragon was much more powerful than the two-headed dragon person, and they were not a match for it. They could only rely on Zhao Fu's power. Zhao Fu calmly smiled as he asked, "What's in it for letting him go?" The black dragon furiously said, "I can give you a quick death." Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "Got it." Bang! Zhao Fu's hand exerted force, and the massive blood-red hand also gripped, causing the black dragon to explode and causing blood to fly everywhere. Roar! In the sky, the black dragon furiously roared as it opened its mouth and breathed out a black flame, which rushed toward Zhao Fu and the others as if it wanted to burn everything. The plants in the surroundings immediately withered, but they did not feel any heat. Instead, they felt the corrosion of dragon fire. This dragon fire was different from ordinary flames. It relied on corrosion to burn things rather than burning them. The black dragon furiously breathed out black flames for more than a minute before stopping. However, after the flames dissipated, a blood-red energy barrier appeared. The blood-red energy barrier covered Zhao Fu and the others, preventing them from being injured. However, the ground around them was in a terrible state, turning into black dust. The black dragon looked quite startled and gave off massive power as it rushed at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu said, "Leave this black dragon to me. I'll leave the small dragons to you." Long Hao and the others nodded and turned into 4 white dragons as they flew to the side. The massive black dragon gave off massive power as it smashed towards Zhao Fu like a hot knife through butter. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and a wave of power flowed out, forming a blood-red wall. Boom! The black dragon slammed into the blood-red wall, and a wave of energy spread out, causing its body to stop. However, Zhao Fu's body was forced back 2 steps. This black dragon was not weak, so Zhao Fu started to take it seriously. The black dragon coldly looked at Zhao Fu and opened its mouth, causing countless traces of black light to flow out. Boom! An enormous black beam of light shot out from the black dragon's mouth, and Zhao Fu flew into the sky, dodging this attack. The black beam of light blasted out a ravine that was hundreds of meters long, and the surroundings were filled with fallen trees and rocks, creating a shocking scene. Zhao Fu immediately flew towards the black dragon and punched its head, smashing the black dragon's body into the ground and causing it to crack. The black dragon furiously swung its 5 claws, bringing with it a gust of wind as it clawed at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu once again flew upwards, dodging the black dragon's attack. The black dragon's body gave off a wave of black chi, and it ferociously charged at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu released a blood-red energy barrier, but he was still sent flying by the black dragon. The black dragon continued to rush at Zhao Fu, and its body gave off a lot of black chi, causing the aura it gave off to become even more terrifying. Zhao Fu stood where he was and took out a sword. He slashed out an enormous sword light towards the black dragon. Bang! A massive sound rang out as the black dragon was sent flying 10 or so meters. However, there was only a shallow wound on its head, which was not very serious. Apex. Chapter 2709. Book 1. Chapter 154. Seal. The black dragon gave off a massive aura as it rushed toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu stood his ground and slashed out twice with his sword, sending out 2 massive blood-red sword lights that gave off immense power as they crisscrossed and slashed towards the black dragon. One of the black dragon's claws gave off a cold light as it ferociously slashed out, sending out 5 massive claws that gave off enough power to destroy steel. The 2 blood-red sword lights were directly shattered by the claws, turning into countless motes of blood-red light and dissipating. Roar! The black dragon then spat out a black aura flame that gave off an aura that seemed to be able to incinerate everything as it rushed toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu once again unleashed a blood-red defensive barrier, blocking the terrifying black aura flame. Just as the black aura flame dissipated, the massive black dragon appeared in front of Zhao Fu and opened its massive mouth as it ferociously bit down on Zhao Fu's defensive barrier. Under that powerful bite, cracks started to appear on the defensive barrier. Zhao Fu's expression fell. The black dragon circled in the sky with a ferocious look on its face as it bit down, wanting to shatter Zhao Fu's defensive barrier and turn Zhao Fu into meat chunks. Under the massive bite, more and more cracks appeared on the defensive barrier, and Zhao Fu coldly harumphed. Right now, it was not suitable for him to use the Heaven Awakened World's power, but Zhao Fu had other powers. Zhao Fu's body turned into countless traces of blood that flowed out of the black dragon's mouth, and he became a massive blood-red demon. This demon had 3 eyes and a pair of blood-red bullhorns. It was tall and had a pair of blood-red wings on its back, and its entire body was blood-red. It gave off a massive bloody aura. The black dragon paused for a moment before ferociously opening its massive mouth and continuing to bite toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu stretched out his hands and grabbed the black dragon's upper and lower jaws, forcefully pulling them apart. The black dragon felt immense pain, and its claws gave off an intense cold light. However, before it could do anything, Zhao Fu forcefully flung the black dragon's body away, stirring up a huge gust of wind. Just as the black dragon's body stopped, Zhao Fu spread his wings and rushed in front of the black dragon, punching the black dragon's head with terrifying power. Roar! The black dragon cried out in pain as its head was smashed. Fresh blood flowed from the wound. The black dragon furiously shot out countless rays of black light from its mouth, and a powerful ray of black light containing shocking power shot toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu spread his wings and flew into the sky, dodging the attack. The black dragon glared angrily at Zhao Fu, but it didn't dare to continue attacking. Zhao Fu coldly laughed and slashed out with a claw, sending countless traces of blood-red qi towards the black dragon with great power. The black dragon's body flew to the side, trying to avoid the blood-red qi. Zhao Fu stretched out his hand, and the blood-red qi changed directions and continued to flow towards the black dragon. The black dragon had not expected this, and its body was bound by the blood-red weapon. The blood-red fog was like ropes binding the black dragon's body, and the black dragon roared as it struggled. The blood-red fog started to slowly dissipate as the black dragon struggled. At that moment, Zhao Fu appeared behind the black dragon and grabbed its tail, smashing the black dragon's head into the ground. A massive sound rang out, and a large crater appeared in the ground. Even more blood flowed out of the black dragon's head, making it look quite terrifying. The black dragon immediately turned and bit towards Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu vigorously swung, sending the black dragon's body flying. The black dragon crashed into a small mountain, causing it to collapse. Countless rocks flew everywhere, and dust spread out. The black dragon lay on the ground, looking at Zhao Fu with intense, killing intent. Countless traces of black qi flowed towards him, and its body gave off countless traces of black light as a shocking power spread out. Swish, 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 countless sounds of the air being torn could be heard as countless rays of black light shot out from the black dragon's mouth, seeming to pierce through the sky. The ripples they gave off were incredibly shocking. Zhao Fu's expression fell, and he spread his wings to cover his body, giving off a blood-red light as he blocked the incoming rays of blood-red light. Bang! 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 Sounds rang out as Zhao Fu's wings blocked the incoming rays of black light. However, his wings were slightly damaged, and there were holes in some places. Swish! Just as he spread his wings, the massive black dragon appeared above his head and ferociously charged at Zhao Fu, biting down on Zhao Fu's shoulder. Zhao Fu looked slightly pained as he grabbed the black dragon's body with both hands, wanting to throw it away. The black dragon firmly bit onto Zhao Fu's shoulder and wrapped its body around Zhao Fu's body, forcefully strangling Zhao Fu's body. Zhao Fu looked furious and exploded out with all of his suppressed power. A blood-red aura flame appeared around his body, and his hands slowly broke free from the black dragon's bindings. The black dragon looked at the power that Zhao Fu had exploded out with, and it gradually broke free from its body. Zhao Fu broke free with one hand and grabbed the black dragon's head. He tore off its head and pressed it against the ground as he continuously punched the black dragon's head with terrifying power. Massive sounds rang out, and he gave off a shocking aura. Long Hao and the others had already dealt with the small black dragons. Seeing Zhao Fu press the black dragon to the ground and continuously punch it, they felt a wave of shock and terror. After Zhao Fu punched the black dragon countless times, Zhao Fu finally stopped. The black dragon's body was a bloody mess, and it was already dead. Zhao Fu stabbed a hand into the black dragon's body, took out an enormous black dragon pearl, and swallowed it. Zhao Fu was quite interested in the primordial dragon race, and he wanted to obtain the primordial dragon race's power. Zhao Fu was not interested in ordinary dragon pearls, and only a powerful dragon pearl like the black dragon was of interest to Zhao Fu. After swallowing the dragon pearl, Zhao Fu's body was quickly refined, and a massive wave of primordial dragon race's power flowed out of Zhao Fu's body. Zhao Fu's massive body gave off countless traces of a black aura and a massive dragon's might. This primordial dragon race's power was indeed quite powerful, and it was even more domineering and corrosive. If it was a legatee of the primordial dragon race, it would be even more powerful, and Zhao Fu guessed that it would not be any weaker than the Heaven Awakened World's sovereign dragon race's power. Zhao Fu thought to himself, I wonder what will happen if I fuse the Heaven Awakened World's sovereign dragon race's power with the primordial dragon race's power? Right now, Zhao Fu had only obtained a high-grade primordial dragon race's power. If he wanted to obtain the legatee-grade primordial dragon race's power, he would need to obtain the primordial dragon race's legacy. If he devoured the primordial dragon race's legatee, he would be able to obtain the legatee-grade primordial dragon race's dragon power. Long Hao and the others looked at Zhao Fu in shock. He had devoured such a large dragon pearl in such a short period of time, and from the aura he gave off, he seemed to be someone from the primordial demon dragon bloodline. If they had not personally seen this, they definitely would not have believed it. After all, even if ordinary people obtained a bloodline after fusing with a dragon pearl, it would be a weak mixed bloodline. Chapter 2710. Book 1, Chapter 155. They didn't know how Zhao Fu had done it. They felt that Zhao Fu's identity had become mysterious. Zhao Fu put away the massive black dragon's corpse, and his body slowly became smaller until he returned to his original size. He smiled and said to Long Hao and the others, "Let's continue onwards." Long Hao and the other three nodded their heads, unknowingly treating Zhao Fu as someone far above them. Everyone continued onwards and did not encounter any more monsters. The massive dragon's might became stronger and stronger, and Long Hao and the others used their defensive barriers to defend as they advanced. In the end, Zhao Fu's group of 4 arrived at the place where the primordial demonic dragon was sealed. There was a massive black dragon lying on a massive basin. This black dragon had 3 blade-like horns, and its body was incredibly powerful. It was covered with black, steel-like scales, and it gave off a dragon's might that covered the surroundings. The black dragon crawled in the basin with his eyes closed. There were slender wooden pillars around his body. There were hemp ropes extending from the wooden pillars, binding the black dragon's body. This seal looked very simple and crude, but to be able to seal such a powerful demonic dragon, it was definitely an extremely powerful seal. No one knew what kind of expert laid it down. Zhao Fu looked at Long Hao and the other 3. "What do you plan to do now?" Long Hao replied with a serious expression, "We will first test the power of the seal, and then see if we can awaken the mystic dragon." Zhao Fu asked seriously, "Do you know what the terrible consequences will be?" Long Hao said, "I know, but we came prepared." Zhao Fu thought for a moment and said, "Wait for me. Let me see if there's anything I need here." This time, Zhao Fu's purpose for coming here was for the bronze shard. He did not want to cause any big trouble. If Long Hao and the other 3 caused any trouble, it would definitely put Zhao Fu in danger. Therefore, he told them to wait for a while before starting. Long Hao nodded without hesitation. A large part of the reason why they were able to reach the depths of the sealed land so easily this time was because of Zhao Fu. They were not in a hurry anyway. Zhao Fu quickly left the place and searched the surroundings to see if he could find the treasures collected by the demon dragon. After a few hours, Zhao Fu frowned and returned to his original spot. He didn't find anything. What was going on? There should be some treasures in the outer and central regions, but why weren't there any in the depths? Zhao Fu had already carefully searched the surroundings, but he did not find anything. Zhao Fu looked at the dragon lying on the ground. Could the most precious treasure be sealed together with this black dragon? Long Hao looked at Zhao Fu's expression and asked, "What's wrong with friends? Did you find what you needed?" Zhao Fu shook his head. Long Hao continued to ask, "Then how long do we have to wait for you?" Zhao Fu said, "No need. You guys do what you need to do. Perhaps there will be some changes when you touch the seal." Long Hao replied, "And then stay away from me. We'll start planning right away." Following this, Zhao Fu retreated into the distance. Long Hao and the others stood in 4 different positions, their bodies giving off a faint white light. Long Hao and the others took out snow-white dragon bones and sent their power into the dragon bones. The dragon bones gave off white light and floated into the air. Countless rays of blinding light shined out as a massive white dragon appeared in the sky. This white dragon was slender and beautiful. It had 5 claws and was covered with snow-white scales. It had a pair of dragon horns that looked like white wood and a pair of snow-white dragon eyes. It gave off a sacred feeling and gave off an immense dragon's might. Zhao Fu also looked quite shocked. This white dragon contained a trace of a higher being's power. Long Hao controlled the white dragon to fly towards the basin. At first, nothing happened, but just as the white dragon was about to enter the basin, the wood gave off powerful auras, as if warning the white dragon. Long Hao and the others did not hesitate and controlled the white dragon to rush towards the basin. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as a massive shockwave rippled out from the basin. Ropes shot out from the ground and shot towards the white dragon. Boom! A massive power exploded out from the white dragon's body as it gave off a boundless white light, dyeing the sky white. The countless hemp ropes that shot over were blocked by an invisible force and stopped in midair, unable to advance another inch. The white dragon gave off a massive aura as it slowly flew towards the basin. Ropes continuously shot out from the ground, giving off shocking power as they shot towards the white dragon in the sky. However, they were all blocked by the white light. Seeing that the ropes had been blocked, Long Hao and the others let out a sigh of relief and controlled the white dragon to continue flying forwards. Boom! 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 Massive explosions suddenly sounded out as the slender wooden pillars gave off boundless yellow light. Massive slender wooden pillars appeared in the sky and gave off power that seemed to pierce through the heavens and earth as they stabbed towards the white dragon. Roar! The many wooden pillars brought with them an astonishing power as they instantly broke through the white dragon's defenses. Following that, the wooden pillars pierced through the white dragon's body. It was as if the white dragon had been skewered in the sky. The white dragon roared out in pain, and its body started to slowly collapse. Long Hao and the others' bodies trembled, and they coughed up a large mouthful of blood, as if they had suffered a backlash. However, it did not seem as if their lives were in danger. After killing the white dragon, the surroundings gradually returned to normal, as if nothing had happened. Zhao Fu walked over to Long Hao and the others and asked, "Are you guys all right?" Long Hao said with a smile, "It's nothing, I just suffered some backlash. The power of the seal is still so strong after so many years. If a real expert went there just now, I'm afraid it would be very dangerous, not to mention unlocking the seal." Zhao Fu nodded. The power from the wooden pillars had caused him to feel a wave of terror, causing his hairs to stand on end. Suddenly, Zhao Fu and the others felt a massive pressure as a terrifying aura seeped into their bodies. Zhao Fu and the others turned to look at the basin and saw that the massive black dragon slowly opened its eyes and looked at them. Long Hao and the others immediately knelt on the ground in fear and called out respectfully, "Greetings, revered dragon." Zhao Fu stood on the spot and looked at the black dragon, but he did not kneel. This black dragon gave Zhao Fu a feeling that it was incredibly powerful, much more powerful than ordinary higher beings. It seemed to be only slightly weaker than a half-step celestial. The black dragon's gaze fell on Zhao Fu's body, and it said in an evil woman's voice, "Boy, you're quite strange. You're really strange, containing a lot of fear that even makes me feel a little afraid. Tell me, who are you?" Because of the immortal concealment token, anyone below the half-step celestial level would not be able to see through Zhao Fu's true identity. However, the black dragon was incredibly powerful, and it could sense that Zhao Fu had something terrifying. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.